Hello, I'm Paul.
I'm Adam.
And I'm Ben.
And welcome to the Film Busters podcast. The film show with no filters, no prisoners taken, loads of disagreements, but one hell of a love for cinema.
If you want to hear three friends ridiculing each other for an hour or so regarding their taste in films, then you have come to the right place.
In each episode, one of the team picks a film for us to discuss. It could be anything from a recent cinema release to an all-time classic.
So, strap in and get ready to get mad or get vindicated as we guide you through the murky world of being a film geek.
If you like what you hear, you can also find us on Twitter and Instagram using @FilmbustersPod. You can also find each of our individual accounts. I'm at Filmbusters Paul.
I'm at Filmbusters Adam.
And I'm at Filmbusters Ben.
If you want to use your eyes instead of your ears, you can also visit the website at filmbusterspod.co.uk.
And if busting makes you feel good, you can also support us at patreon.com/filmbusters for exclusive content.
Or shoot over and get some groovy merchandise at society6.com/filmbusters.
Alright, can we just get on with this now, please?
Filmbusters.
How many times have you watched this Scream trailer then, Scott?
Today or?
Yeah, let's go today. Let's start there.
0 today, because I've actually
Really?
been busy today.
Yeah, you've been a busy boy today.
What about if you weren't busy, how many times would you have watched
about
it?
50, probably.
What, in a day?
The only thing is, Scott, it feels like, for me, it gives away the whole film.
I don't think it does.
It does.
I think
I
we're
feel
being
like-
tricked.
I could rate that film on Letterboxd right now.
It better be fucking 10.
It won't be.
Bloody
I
will
haven't
be.
seen it at all yet.
I'm proud of you, Ben.
Yeah, I'm exhibiting massive restraint here.
I couldn't.
We really couldn't help because the trailer played in the Halloween
Yeah.
cinema anyway.
Yeah, you all got that trailer. I didn't get it because I was in a picture house, you know. They don't spoil things in the picture house.
They never play
anything.
trailers. The lovely thing is, every so often I just turn around in work and I just see Scott playing the trailer again.
Or I'm watching people watch the trailer. At least.
Do you know it off by heart?
Maybe.
Can
What's
you
the first thing they
reenact
say?
it for us right now?
No.
Scott, quote a line from it because I haven't even heard a line from it or anything. Quote the best line from the trailer.
Easy.
I know what you're going to say, go on.
His bag.
Have you got a gun? I'm Sidney Prescott. Of course I've got a gun.
Oh, it's very self-aware then. Very self-aware. I like it. It always has been.
Have you been playing the thing on Warzone, Scott?
No.
Where
I don't
you can
have
dress
time
up
for
as
games.
But you can dress up as Ghostface and you go around killing people, and then you've got to find out who's the real Ghostface killer in amongst the big game.
You can do that in Dead by Daylight already, which is a wonderful game. Have
will
you,
say-
Scott,
what?
you would appreciate Dead by Daylight. Are you a gamer?
I'm a horror gamer, yes.
Okay, have you ever played Dead by Daylight?
No.
Oh, mate. So the concept, right? You could be Michael Myers, Scream, Jason, Leatherface, and there's 5 people to a game. You're automatically connected with other people, and whenever a game starts, you're either going to be the monster or you're going to be a victim. So the minute the game starts, you've got 20 minutes roughly on the clock, I think it is. And if you're the killer, you need to stalk around the level and you need to hook the victims 3 times to kill them. If you're a victim, you need to get 4 generators on the level up and running in order to escape. It is so tense, and the level of detail is wonderful, and everyone has special moves related to the killer. So Michael Myers, if you're playing as him, it can be frustrating because you can only walk everywhere rather than run.
But he still gets you.
Yeah, you have the ability to be the shape, so you can go in the shadows. No other player can see you. Whereas if you're Leatherface, who can move really quickly, everyone sees and hears you all the time because you're always screaming and revving the chainsaw. It's a wonderful game.
Oh, I'll have to check that out, definitely. I'll have a look.
What does Jigsaw do? Does Jigsaw go around with a pig mask on?
Yeah, it's clearly not Jigsaw, it's more like Amanda. The Jigsaw one's not too good. Freddy one's good because Freddy can enter the dream state.
Oh.
And so cause all the victims to enter the dream state, which changes the level up completely.
Oh.
And he's much more lethal in the dream state, of course.
Is Jason on there as well?
Actually, I don't think Jason is, because you know why? Because Jason's got his own video game.
Oh, yes,
Which
of course he
is-
has, yeah,
that's,
online.
That's
yeah.
pretty good too. It's very detailed for Jason, but it's not as good as Dead by Daylight as an all-rounder.
The Jason one, I found it glitched quite a lot when I played it.
Oh yeah, and it took ages to load a game.
Yeah.
Like 10 minutes to even load a game.
Yeah. Anyway.
Highly recommend.
Oh, I'll jot it down.
Well, as you could probably tell, everyone, we're talking about horror icons because we are doing a film of a horror icon today. You could probably guess it is the new Halloween Kills.
Yes.
And we have our lovely special guest here today Scott Redding, who's a massive horror fan. How are
Hello.
you, Scott?
I'm good, thank you.
Good.
I'm so excited.
All I'm going to say, listeners, if Scott gives his film below a 7 or 8, it means he really hated it.
Low 7 or 8.
Why is that?
Because
I like shit. Yes, I like.
Yeah. For you to give a film like this that kind of score means that it did something wrong.
Can I just also say that this has, in the entire history of Filmbusters, been the hardest film to not talk about before the episode.
I agree.
Particularly with the discourse that is going on online at the
I know,
moment.
I keep seeing you, Ben, and I'm just like, is he going to let slip or like he score? And then he's always like, no, I let somebody know on the side.
At
and
this
all that.
moment in time, the only person who knows my opinion, apart from Jenny, of course, is Alex from the Contrarians.
Yeah.
You just couldn't
So-
help yourself with another massive Halloween fan.
I had to cross-reference things with him
Lovely.
because he had a very strong opinion about it.
Interesting.
Okay.
I mean, I do think it's probably one of our most highly anticipated ones, just to know what Ben thinks about this film.
Definitely.
Wow.
I do think Ben should go last in the
I am going to
opinions,
go
though.
last. Yeah, I'm definitely going last.
Well,
I think
Scott's
it's
the one
got-
who decides. He can decide
Oh,
whatever
yeah,
he
it
wants.
is, isn't it? I've just had to put something that was mine because you always make me pick, but Scott's taken that baton today.
He has. Well, should we hurry this along then and do the quiz so we can
Yeah,
get right
please.
on to talking about Halloween Kills, because we're very excited.
Yes.
I'd love to.
Okay, well, if you've not listened to an episode before, we do a quiz every episode. Well, I ask normally Adam and Ben 2 questions. If they get the questions right, they get points. If they get them wrong, I get the points. Right now, the scores are 30 for Ben, 23 for Adam, and 16 for me. But
It's
today
not good.
is very special because Scott is actually the quiz host today.
Oh yes.
Oh,
Quizmaster General.
And they're fucking easy.
they're fucking easy, apparently. Here we go. That's fine.
2 points to Ben.
Is the first answer Lampkin Lane?
No.
If the answer was Lampkin Lane, what would the question be?
Where does he live?
What street
Well-
does Michael
well
Myers
done.
live on?
Yeah, that's because I said that in our recording
It
that
did,
went to
yeah.
shit.
All right. Question
All
number
right.
1. How many times has Jamie Lee Curtis played Laurie Strode?
4.
No.
Incorrect.
Oh.
This is the 6th time
Yes,
she's played
Ben.
Laurie Strode.
Yes, well done.
We're 2 out.
Why are
I
you
mean,
two films
Why
out?
did you both say
How is it
4 so
6?
quickly?
I just took an educated guess. I don't
Yeah,
really
six.
know,
Yeah,
to
it
be
is
honest.
6. Yeah, it's 6. Yeah,
I
yeah,
thought
yeah.
the first one, obviously she's in the second one then, Halloween H2O, the remake, and this one, and then probably, I don't know, where else.
Halloween Resurrection, she's
you
also
can't
in.
fucking count then, can you?
No,
I thought,
because that's
I was,
5.
I was never going to, yeah, but I said one other else. I just guessed. That was a quick guess rather than actually thinking about it.
I genuinely just forgot about those.
Because I thought Ben's going to know this, and I've just got to say an answer if I have any hope.
She actually surpasses Donald Pleasance
Yes,
now.
she does now. Yeah, definitely.
Crazy that is, because he was the iconic face
He was.
of Halloween for me.
I do want to talk about him at some point as well.
Oh, yes,
well,
of course.
undoubtedly.
There's no
Is
getting
that the
around
guy
it.
who plays Dr. Loomis?
Yes.
Come on, Adam.
I'm just double checking.
Is that the guy who plays Dr. Loomis? He says. I should smash you.
I'm not as obsessed with this thing as you two are, all three are.
I should
I'm not
smash you.
obsessed.
I've only
but-
seen the first 4. I haven't even watched the 5th one yet.
That's all right. What's your 6th?
Anyway, that's 1 point to Ben. Should we go to the next one?
Yep. Kyle Richards, who plays Lindsay, broke which bone while filming but didn't tell anyone until after all her scenes were finished?
Ankle.
No.
Oh.
I'm going to go arm. Or like your forearm.
No.
I'm going to say finger.
No, her nose.
Oh,
And she didn't want to be replaced in any scenes, so she didn't tell anyone until all of her scenes were
Break
finished.
your nose and not tell anyone.
By the time they
Yeah.
filmed all the scenes, surely her nose would have healed. It doesn't take that long to heal a broken nose, does it?
Let's try it, Adam.
She, so I don't know much about her, but until afterwards I found out that she's in like a
Real
is it
Housewives.
Desperate Housewives of Beverly Hills or something like that. Real Housewives. So she
I don't
plays,
watch her in it because I don't watch that trash. But
No, exactly. But it's
Fuck
like
off,
is the only reason that she's in that show because she was in Halloween originally as a child. That's her claim to fame.
Must be.
I don't know. I haven't got a clue.
I don't know. Don't all these shows, they just like have rich husbands and they just sit at home?
Well,
I might be generalising, but that's what it looks like when I'm watching it.
Yeah.
she's the actress.
Well, very true. But what else has she done?
True. But we could talk about it later.
Yeah. What's her name? Lindsay?
Wallace.
Yes. Well done.
Were you testing me?
That's 1
No.
point to Scott.
I didn't know.
Well, wonderful. Wonderful. So the scores at the end of that are 31 for Ben, 23 for Adam, and 16 for me. There's just a point that just goes nowhere, so Scott gets it.
Well, hey.
Doesn't the point...
We should have
doesn't
kept this
by
up.
default, you get that point?
It's up
Because
to
I
Scott.
think-
It's up to Scott.
I think
He can
Jamie's
decide
got
that.
some points somewhere, and so would Julio. We just kept another little scoreboard between our hosts.
Maybe. They would have overtaken me.
Yeah.
Right, first, let's do a special mention to Steve from Movie Drone, who's just signed up to our Patreon.
Well done.
Steve, wonderful to have you.
Wonderful.
Yes.
We love a bit of Movie Drone.
They're our dear friends from the UK.
And speaking of which, you actually just appeared on one of their episodes. We did mention it last episode, but now
Oh,
the
yeah.
episode's been and gone.
It's
You
been
can
and
check-
gone. It's out there in the world now. I went
Wasn't
in
that
there waxing
also a
lyrical.
Halloween episode?
It was. H2O. Halloween H2O. I was professing my love for it, and I think I converted the boys by the end.
H2O the film or H2O the TV series?
I don't know what H2O the TV
What?
series
What?
is.
There used to be a TV series called H2O. I know my sister used to watch it. It used to be on Disney Channel, and it was about these girls that they turn into mermaids every time they touch water.
That was what
Wow.
the episode was about, yes.
Yeah, that was what we were talking about. And yeah, I do prefer that to the Halloween film, Adam.
Yeah, I knew you would. I knew you would.
It was a great episode, Ben.
Oh, thank you, sir.
Oh, much love.
I think I championed our corner.
I agreed with everything you said.
I feel like I felt very under pressure because immediately neither of them took to it, H2O, and I was like, oh shit, I've really got to argue the case for it now, and I feel like I left out so much stuff.
I think you were
you covered
very
quite a
good.
lot.
Very, very good.
Oh, bless your hearts. It's very hard to talk about a film that you just love irrationally.
I know it is very hard. It's very daunting.
Yeah, especially one like H2O, which I know objectively is not a good film. Objectively. But subjectively, when you're in the
Scott's
Halloween
face
universe.
here right now.
Yeah. But you know, in the grand scheme of things, like if you showed it to someone who's never watched Halloween, they would go, well, that's crap. It's like, yeah, but you don't understand why it's good, and I'm going
Yes.
to tell you why. And I just didn't have enough in my ammo rack to tell them why.
But I think you did, mate. I think you did a
I
wonderful
think you did
job.
a good job.
Yeah.
Tar.
Right, we
Good
also have Katie and OT from the For Your Reference podcast, a part of the patron.
Yes,
Yes,
we do. We also have Julio from the Contrarians.
we do. He's from Texas, but
Oh,
we
he's
don't
from
have the sound
Texas.
effects.
We do.
We also have our new patron, although he was with us last time, but another shout out as our new patron. We have Sean Panda Nicholson. Thanks,
Wonderful
Sean.
stuff.
He's one of two Scots.
Hey.
Yes. You're going to say that every
Three Scots
time
today.
just to confuse
Yeah,
people.
three Scots today, but not quite the Scot you might be thinking. There's a Scot by nature and a Scot by name. We have two by
Indeed.
nature and one by name.
Oh, yes. We also have Mr. Teach, Jamie Russell.
Yes,
Oh,
he's from
yeah.
Scotland.
He is. He's one of the Scots.
He's one of the
Yeah,
three
God's
Scots.
sake.
Yeah. We've also got Nerdriver, who was from Texas, and now he's in Alabama. Is it not
He's
Alabama?
not. Albuquerque.
Fuck's sake. I knew it was one of those American places that begun with an A.
One of those American
Wow.
places. They're all the same. Yes, we do. And we also got a flurry of patrons sign up to us to follow along with the London Film Festival coverage, which was very much appreciated. We
Oh,
got
yes.
Fiona Stewart, who is a Joaquin Phoenix mega fan. She signed up after our viewing of Come On, Adam.
Yes, she did. I don't know if she agreed with whose side of the coin she would agree with on that, but
Well,
Yeah.
she was pretty diehard, so I don't think she would agree with either of us, even with your praise. You weren't praising high enough.
We also have Philip Barantini, who is the director of Boiling Point, which you absolutely loved, Ben, didn't you?
Best film of 2021, hands
Wow.
down.
Big shout.
Wonderful,
Very big
wonderful
shout.
film.
we also have Sam Firth, who directed the film Wolf Suit, who Ben also covered at the London Film Festival.
Oh, yes. And finally, we have Sarah Sedev, who was the producer of Boiling Point. Thank you all for following along, and hopefully you sticking around for some of this juicy content that we got
Yes.
coming.
Oh, I
Hopefully.
hope so. Right.
9 patrons, wonderful.
That is so good, isn't it?
More than 9. Hang on,
Good.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 patrons.
10! Round number.
Well done, guys.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Thanks. Scott's a patron, but he just doesn't pay for it, so he's technically a patron.
We got 11.
And Jenny's a patron, but she doesn't pay for it, so we got 12.
We might as well make it 12. Put it up.
Yeah. And I listen to it, and Paul listens to it, so we got 14 patrons, really.
I don't listen to it, but I can if you will make it 15.
Yeah.
Right, if you want to become a patron, you can become a patron at www.patreon.com/filmbusters, where we have exclusive episodes, exclusive video content from the London Film Festival, and you can suggest films for us to watch and stuff like that. It's very, very fun over there, so you should go over and subscribe.
Yes.
Right, shall we move on to the main event
of
of Halloween Kills
event.
2021?
Let's do it.
My grandmother was right. The boogeyman was real.
It's over.
We can't hurt anyone ever again.
No one told you.
Told me what?
Somebody in there? Michael Myers is alive.
Stop! You had a knife in your stomach.
You and Allison should not have to keep running. Evil dies tonight.
I'm not just gonna sit and watch another innocent person die.
If you track Michael's victims, that's a straight line to Michael's childhood home. What do we do?
We fight.
Let's hunt him down.
Michael Myers is flesh and blood. But a man couldn't have survived that fire. The more he kills, the more he transcends.
Run! Go home now!
He's the essence of evil.
Do it! Do it! You want your mask? Come and get it!
I'm coming for you, Michael.
Right, everyone, today we are talking about Halloween Kills from 2021. This is a spoiler episode, so if you've not seen the film, we'll be going into spoilers straight away, hanging around, so you might want to go see it first. Otherwise, just deal with the spoiling. Firstly, Adam, you've got to do a little plot summary of this film, haven't you?
Yes, I do. This film follows directly on from the last film, Halloween. Not Halloween the original one, not Halloween that was made by Rob Zombie, Halloween that was made, was it 2018 now?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it follows on from that one, not the other one, so it's a very confusing timeline in this world.
I mean, it's not really.
There's 3 films called Halloween in the same series.
Yes, but, if you're a fan, you follow along and you get the gist.
Yes, it's not that hard.
Anyway, yeah, so this follows directly on from that film, and it's part of the same night. So the last film ended with Mike Myers being trapped in a burning building. Spoilers, sorry.
Mike Myers.
Michael Myers, isn't it?
It's Michael, yes, but you said Mike Myers.
Oh, did I?
Yes,
Not
we will
yeah.
be referring to him as Michael.
He was in the
please.
basement and went, groovy, baby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shagadelic. And all of that jazz.
Good lord.
Yes. Anyway, it follows on from that, and it's Michael trying to hunt down what seems to be Laurie, but who knows what he's hunting down.
Michael!
And why he's also getting hunted at the same time.
Sound effects.
I shot him 6 times. I shot him in the heart. This guy, this man, he's not human.
I reckon it's going to be
brilliant.
like one of those kind of episodes.
That was great.
You don't know what death is.
But yeah, anyway, it's basically like Halloween 2, I'd say. If
You
look at
reckon?
the plot.
Oh,
To an extent.
In that someone's in a hospital, yes.
Pretty much.
That's
yeah.
it.
And it's followed straight on from the same as the night.
And
of
it's
the
a
first
sequel.
one. Yeah.
Yeah.
And Mike Myers is trying to hunt people down who are in
He
hospital.
said Mike Myers again.
Myers.
Oh, fuck off.
We're doing this. We're calling it. Every time you call him Mike Myers, I will pull you up. It's Michael.
I'm going to start saying it on purpose now.
You'll find you give him the respect he deserves.
Right, Ben, have you got any little facts about this film?
I don't have any facts about this film because...
I've got a fact about this film.
Go on.
Did you see the uncredited cameo in this film?
Explain.
From Bob Odenkirk.
Oh yes.
Oh yeah, I
He
heard
was,
that
he was a
before I
pitcher
watched
very young. Yeah.
Yeah, he was
He
in
was
the
what?
news report, wasn't he?
Yes, because they didn't have the rights to have the actual image of the guy from the original Halloween, so they used Bob Odenkirk because his yearbook picture looked so similar.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Get you, Adam.
And I saw it. I was like, oh, that's cool. I'll write that down for the podcast.
So you don't want to say anything, Ben. You want to just go straight
Yeah, I
into
do.
the
So
first
contextualise,
impressions?
just to super contextualise for everyone, just for the purposes of clarity. I'm sure everyone knows this already, but it's not really trivia, so let's just do this. There's multiple timelines in the Halloween franchise. The Halloween timeline that we're currently on is 1978 Halloween, followed by 2018 Halloween, and then Halloween Kills. That is its own timeline. It splits in many different ways. Another timeline is Halloween, Halloween 2, then Halloween H2O, and then Halloween Resurrection. Another timeline is Halloween 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, and Rob Zombie's timeline just exists as its own.
Then
its own
Halloween
thing.
3 is just its own entity floating around.
Halloween 3 is its own entity. Maybe Halloween 3 exists in all the timelines. Very possible. In fact, if it did exist in any timeline, it would exist in this timeline.
Oh, I'd say so.
Yes. So they're the many timelines, and I won't hear no more nonsense about different timelines.
Or Mike Myers.
Yes. No more Mike Myers and no more timeline talk.
Did you ever play the game on Call of Duty called Michael Myers?
No.
Where one of you had a knife and had to go around
Yeah, you just
stabbing
go
all the other
stab
people in your
people.
team?
No.
Why is he talking about Call of Duty all like every day?
Oh, I
All the time.
talked about it twice and I've never talked about it before.
His only lens for understanding Michael Myers is through video games. Very
Well,
tragic.
yeah, that's because he's a cult hero.
A cult hero, is he?
I don't know, he pops up in that weird world. Anyway, Scott, what order are we going in? Because Ben's going to beat me up in a minute.
We're going to go Paul, Adam, myself, Ben.
Oh,
Do you know what? That's the
lovely.
exact reason I would have picked, apart from maybe me and Paul.
the exact
over.
reason he would have picked.
Oh, whatever. You guys are. I bet you guys are fun at parties, man. Welcome down to today.
Okay,
Poor Adam.
let's do it. For starters, I think Michael Myers looked absolutely gorgeous in this film.
Gorge, you were right when you said gorge.
He's gorge. His appearance is like still so terrifying, and that that matted, burnt hair and singed face, I think looked wonderful in this film as well. It's a nice addition. I actually quite love the segments of returning to the original film. It was a nice way to like tie these new sequels to that first story even more. I'm not too sure about Loomis though. Like the CGI was a little ropey. Like it looked a little bit shiny, but I still allowed a little like, oh, Loomis when I saw him. Regardless,
Do you want to know something? Sorry, I know
go
we
on.
never interrupt.
Go on.
There was no CGI. That
Really?
was
I
all
thought that
makeup.
was just like old footage or something.
What is it? Someone?
Yeah.
It's someone with latex on.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's why it looked weird then. Interesting. Okay. Do you know who it was? Was it someone?
It was the carpenter who worked on the film.
Oh, interesting.
Couldn't make that up, could you?
There you go. Why don't you show that fact in the beginning?
I know I should have.
Was his name John? No,
It would have been funny if it was, right?
Very good, Adam. Very good. I also really enjoyed that they stuck with the idea that Michael doesn't give a shit about coming after his past victims, which is what I loved about that Halloween 2018 one. I really dig that, and I'm glad they made a point of actually like showing that this time. And now I struggle to find the other good parts of this, so I may as well just move on to the bad stuff.
Oh, no.
It was too violent.
What?
I thought it was oversaturated with it, and I think it really took away from like
What?
the fear factor for me. Did you say what?
Yeah, you're
Yeah.
always complaining that films
I
aren't
think it was too
enough.
violent. No, I talk about like fun gore, where it was just too much violence from Michael and that. Like I like him creeping and like just a quick kill, where it's all like let me just keep smashing everyone's head off things. But this came across as a little bit silly and over the top for me. It was like too much. The casting of all his old victims was a bad choice for me. I think it took up too much time from the film. I think Tommy Doyle was pretty annoying, and the rest were all like just dumb. And that chunk of them chasing down that other, what do you call him? Other
Psych
Inmate.
patient.
patient,
Yeah.
inmate. Was it inmate or patient?
Psych patient, wasn't it?
Psych patient. I think it was just like went on for too long, and it just took too much time, and it was a bit lame. It was a real shame that Laurie had nothing to do in this film, and I guess it made sense that it was on the same night, and so it was believable, but it was just a bit of a shame. And I really think like the daughter and granddaughter didn't have much to do either, apart from that little bit at the end, which we'll talk about. But I think it really truly messed up its ending for me. They should have just left Michael dead in the dirt, and that would have been brave for me. And I do have a theory that it could have a different ending, that they might be doing something in the last film, but I'll talk about that later, I guess. I just don't think they knew what they wanted to do with this film, and it just become a bit incoherent and just a messy bridge between 2018 and Halloween Ends. But it's crazy how much I like this start off with. I was probably on when it first started, I was like, oh, this could easily be an 8 out of 10, but now it's a 5 out of 10.
5?
Yeah.
5. Okay.
Jesus.
It's a 5 out of 10.
That's not as low as I thought you were going to go.
But yeah, it's a 5.
Okay. Where does it place in your overall ranking there?
Ooh, I'd probably say I think it's between Halloween 5 and The Curse of Michael Myers.
And how's that in your ranking? What's the bottom film?
The bottom film is Halloween 2 from Rob Zombie.
Okay, keep working up till we get to this.
Okay, so Halloween 2 from Rob Zombie, Halloween 3, Halloween Resurrection, Halloween Curse of Michael Myers, Halloween Kills.
So Halloween 5 better than this?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Let's hear from Adam.
Is it my turn to take the floor?
Take a floor.
Okay. I started off enjoying this film, and I kind of agree by Paul. By the end of it, it kind of did lose its way, and it did focus on the wrong things. But I don't agree with Paul being the film was too violent. I thought this film was great fun. I did have fun watching this film. It's only when you step away from this film and you look back on it that you start to see the problems. I thought this film, it had good, enjoyable kills in it. It did everything you want kind of a Halloween film to do in some aspect. It's like you're watching there to watch Mike Myers just fuck people up, and
Michael
Myers watch fuck people up, and it did that, and it was great fun. And there was one point in the film where I was a bit unsure. I'll talk about it in a bit. And there was a guy sitting about 3 or 4 seats down, and I looked over to him, and he was having the time of his life. He's sitting there with he had those fucking cinema nachos. Was it me? And he was eating them, and he was just like, I could see him like getting really into it, like putting his hand over his mouth when I'll tell you what part it was. It was when the door opened up and it hit her in the face and she blew her head off. Spoilers. That kill. And I was just like, that's what this film is about. That is it. And I feel like it kind of helped me get into that mood of just enjoying this film. And it's a film that you do watch with your heart, not your head. Like, you just go in there and enjoy it. But overall, it does have a lot of problems, and it's kind of, for me, whether the enjoyment of the film can paper over those cracks. And I would have given it a 7 if we did this recording when we meant to do it on Monday. But now it is a 6 at the moment. I feel like the longer you sit in it, the more the cracks start to form. But
you have a funny way with words. The longer you sit in it, the more the cracks form.
It's like you've painted a room, haven't you? And it looks great, and then you sit there next week and you see the cracks starting to bit.
Well, you ain't painted it very well, son.
Got shit plaster.
Yeah, I mean, they didn't paint this very well.
So which Halloween? So you've only seen the first 4 Halloweens, is that right?
Yeah.
So where does this position?
Oh, okay. I would say this is probably on par with Halloween 3. It's not as good as 2, and it's probably on the same level as. No, it's below 4. So it goes probably.
So it's bottom.
Yeah, but I'll maybe say this is better than Halloween 3 because it's more of a Halloween film. But at the end of the day, I had real good fun with this film, and I enjoyed my time at the cinema. And I feel like that's all you can really kind of ask for in some way. So I feel quite harsh giving it that score because I did enjoy it.
Interesting. Okay.
Scott.
Okay.
The third Scott.
Yes. By name.
Scott the third.
I had an absolute blast in this film, and I actually saw it with a full cinema, and it made, I don't know, it just made it more enjoyable. I do agree with the pacing problems, especially towards the end, which we'll talk about, I'm sure. The granddaughter still really frustrates me. I don't know why. However, I'm glad Judy Greer got her time. But like you said, Laurie had nothing to do. The gore was amazing. I could have turned it up a few more notches as well. Why not? I did like the reintroduction of the original. I too had problems with Tommy, but I'm very happy it wasn't Paul Rudd. And yeah, I loved the score as well. I thought it was brilliant, and eerie and creepy. So yeah, and I give it an 8.
Adam was right.
8.
Fuck's sake.
Where does it position, Scott?
So this sits nicely between Halloween 4 and Rob Zombie's Halloween for me. And
so is it on top? It's top tier rather than bottom tier.
Yeah. So in front of
Scott's ratings, that's
piss
medium.
off. In layman's terms, it's Halloween Ends, Halloween 4, 2008 Halloween, Halloween 2, H2O, and then the original.
Did you say Halloween Ends?
I mean, Kills.
That's the next one.
Yeah. I've watched that one already, didn't you know?
What? Halloween Kills is your top film?
No.
What was your top one?
The original.
Oh, sorry. Yes. Because you said... yeah. I was getting confused with 2018, 1978. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, it's really confusing, that, isn't it, Ben?
Shut your mouth.
And my last ranking is, of course, Halloween Resurrection.
Oh, yes.
Would you give that a 6 out of 10?
3, you fucker.
I can't remember what I give it. I think I give it a 5 or 4.
That's very generous.
I'm being far too generous to it, yeah.
Do you
I
agree
watched
now,
the trailer for it yesterday because basically I went on YouTube to look for Jamie Lee Curtis doing press around the time Halloween Resurrection came out, because she's infamously on the record now how much she hated it, the idea of it. And there's an interview with her and she's like through gritted teeth trying to talk the movie up and give it good press, but you can clearly see how uncomfortable she is. And then they linked to a trailer of it again and I'm like, oh Jesus. I remember seeing this trailer before it came out and wanting so much for it to be good. And then all right, everyone,
Come on, boy.
this feels like, I don't know, I'm gonna unburden myself after
Does this
it's
feel
only
like
been, it's
you've
only
got
been
to do
like
a
5 or
speech
6
at your
days.
wedding or something?
It's kind of like that. It's been
You've
6
been building
days.
up for it for so long now, like
I've never felt so nervous.
you've rehearsed
about
it in your
putting
head.
my thoughts out there.
You've been speaking it in the shower.
Yes. All right. Shut up now. So, as a fan, which let's just get that out there first of all, of the Halloween series, die-hard fan, someone who this has meant the world to for the longest time, I honestly couldn't have asked for anything more from this film. For me, I went in with lower expectations for this film than I did for Halloween, and it completely surpassed them. And my appetite is wet for this final fucking film. I am wet.
That
for
is
this
an
final
image
film.
right now. That is an image. Jesus.
I personally think that. So I've seen so much, and it's very interesting how spread across the rankings we are here now. I've seen so much nonsense online, of course, with terrible takes about this film, but I personally think that David Gordon Green has an amazing understanding of why the Halloween fandom loves these films so much. He has love, he has focus and attention, which no other filmmaker since the first few films has ever put into the Halloween franchise, and this is over 40 years later. This series as a whole completely surpasses any other horror series for me. So I had tears in my eyes in this film.
Wow.
Several times.
Do you see it by yourself then?
No, I went with Jenny and there were other people in the cinema. Okay. And there was almost everything was like a homage to some other element from the Halloween franchise, like vigilante mobs and like just the 78 stuff. The 78 stuff was just beautiful.
It was
amazing,
done really well. Really well.
Wonderful. Yeah. The filter on it, the look of the mask was almost identical. Loomis popping up. I'd stayed away from any notification of that, and seeing Loomis was, oh my God. Personally, that worked for me so well. And like what Adam was saying, it has so much fun with the material, but at the same time it was fucking scary, which Michael Myers hasn't been for a long time. He was in the last Halloween, but in this Halloween Kills he scared me again, partly because of the brutality, but secondly because Paul, that thing that you didn't really want him to do, they started tapping in again to this idea that he's not a man, he's more than that. And ultimately, this film takes Michael back to what he did in that very first Halloween film, which was stalking homes. And I agree, Paul. The stuff about Laurie not being in his mind, great. I didn't really dig it so much in the 2018 Halloween, but I get it now more. He isn't charging after Laurie. It kind of shows how insignificant she really is. Like, he's had this massive impact on her life, damaged her for all time, and she hasn't touched his at all.
And
he's just
kind
brutal.
of all seems like by chance as well.
All by chance. What happens? Yeah, like the fact that he kills her daughter is just, she put herself in that path at that moment. He didn't come for her.
Yeah,
she was in that.
She was
path.
standing in his spot.
Yes, but anyway, I love the fact that he was brutal. It wasn't that Rob Zombie immature level of let's be graphic. This felt more Michael playing with his prey, which we got a sense of in that first Halloween, like putting the gravestone above Annie's bed and like putting the sheet on so he can conceal his identity. There's this element of playful torture which has always been under the surface with Michael, and they bring it to the forefront here. He's terrifying. And I love the Michael in this. The best Michael I've seen in fucking ages. I also love the fact that they brought back all of these old characters, whether they recasted or used the original actors. For me personally, it was beautiful to see Sheriff Brackett. I was not expecting Sheriff Brackett. And when I saw him, I thought he was dead in real life. So to see him as an old man, oh my God. And to have him deliver his line from the original Halloween, fucking hell.
That's where you cried, right?
That was one of the moments I cried. But anyway, I thought it was a very good homage to all of those characters who were otherwise written out of the franchise. So even if some didn't quite hit the mark, I think it was great that they all came back for this film in one way or another, and for the most part got killed off. I thought that was a fitting way to see off their characters. So I have a note here, and this really sums it up for me. If the first Halloween, the 2018 Halloween, was a Laurie movie, this is the Michael Myers movie.
Agree.
And so I'm really looking forward to what Halloween Kills is, what movie that is. So there's a million things I loved about it. There's two things I didn't like about it. One is the way the lynch mob really repeats that "Evil Dies Tonight" mantra.
Oh my God, constantly. Jesus Christ.
A little too much. And the amount, even though I'd kind of like briefly the escaped patient from Smith's Grove, the amount of time dedicated to it was too much, yes. But they were the only two things in an otherwise amazing movie. I give this film a 9 out of 10. And I am stunned to report that in my rankings, it now goes Halloween 1978, Halloween 4, used to be Halloween H2O, now Halloween Kills.
Amazing.
Interesting.
And that's all I have to say on that.
I'm so happy for you, you know that.
I'm delighted
so
for myself,
glad you
mate.
liked it.
I was like a pig in shit when I came out of that cinema. I was delighted. Jenny doesn't know how to read me, and when we came out, I was like, what do you think I thought of that film? And she was like super cautious. She was like, well, I think you probably liked elements of it, like you like that 1978 bit, but maybe you didn't like this. And I said, I fucking loved it. And she said, I'm so relieved, why don't you just give me an indication in the cinema? She's like, you're so serious when you're watching it, I can't read. It's like, because I'm focused.
It's like
here.
you when we came out of Spiral, and it was like your face is kind of wasn't expressional, and I was like,
me and Adam were terrified that you actually enjoyed it.
Yeah, I was like, you were like, what do you think I thought? And I thought, he's going to do this thing where he's just like, I loved it. We were like, what have you been
no way. No chance in hell, man.
What did Jenny think then?
She liked it, but like for her, she enjoyed it much more knowing that I enjoyed it, because like this is not the kind of film that she would ever want to watch by herself.
That's almost like how I feel right now.
Now that's a supportive spouse right there.
So
yes, very much so.
Ben, there is one thing, like I think Dan's now seen the film twice.
I'm going to see it on Tuesday again. I love it.
And he said the only thing is, second time round, is you've seen all the kills and you've seen all of this, and then the problems that I feel like I had with it would show up a lot more under the microscope again, because
there may be something in that, but I grew up watching these films on repeat constantly on VHS, and they never lost anything.
I'm going to see June on Tuesday, and you're going to go see Halloween Kills again.
There we go.
Nothing wrong with it.
I'm seeing June on Saturday.
Lovely.
Suck it.
So, boys, I'm going to propose that we break this down into sections rather than going through the entire film. Let's talk about different aspects of it. The first thing I think we should talk about is all the 1978 stuff, the stuff that picked up where it left off. What did you think about that?
Wonderful. That's that. When it got to that I mean, that's pretty much the intro, isn't it? So I was like, "Yep, I'm already in. I'm loving this already," because how, like the grading on it, the way the camera looked, it didn't look like a crisp camera. I think it will look wonderful. It looks so well.
It was really beautiful and well done.
Yeah, 100%.
And it also had one of the most genuine, scary moments of the entire film, where Michael just comes out that doorway. I shit myself. When he's there standing in his spot.
Oh, yeah.
And then Michael just comes out of nowhere. And I think it's the quickest I've ever seen Michael go as well.
I was thinking, is he too fast? But then I was like, no, do you know what this is like? This is like that moment in Halloween where he kills Annie's boyfriend.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because he just bursts out of that cupboard and pins him against the wall, although he was definitely faster in this one, but it worked.
So yeah, that scared the shit out of me. I think it actually made quite a few people in cinema scream.
Yeah. This is like the slight foreshadowing for the ending.
Yes.
But I thought it was great, and then I did like seeing Loomis. I did like it. He just looked a little shiny.
It was a nice surprise. It was a nice homage.
Yeah.
It was the best one. It's better than the H2O bad narration homage that we get over the credits.
Oh, yes.
Even though I appreciate them trying to include him in H2O, I think he would have been happier having this. But it was, what was so teasing was not knowing that he was going to be in it and then hearing his voice outside the house first. You hear him outside ranting first. And I was like, oh, shit, it's Loomis. And then you look down the stairs and here he is. Oh, baby. I was like, how have they done this? This is wonderful. They basically got a carpenter on set to be the body. They used the latex on him. You see some pictures online. It's very impressive. Even when you look at the pictures online in full light, it's like, yeah, this is really working. And then they used a voice actor to dub who sounded like Loomis. So they used these 3 different elements to create that. And that was that pure fucking fan service satisfaction. In Alex's words, I popped hard for that when I saw that. That was like, Jesus Christ, man. But also, like, before that, all the shots of Michael back then, like, it would have been so easy for David Gordon Green to be like, yeah, we'll use the mask that we're using for this film. But they've specifically, clearly designed a mask which almost identically replicates the original.
It could be a shot from the original film.
It could have been a shot. And what was really ballsy and terrifying was when they've got Jim Cummings, when he's got Jim Cummings around the fucking neck, and the deputy is shining the torch, that torchlight just lighting up Michael's face. It's like, fuck it, there's nothing in the shadows about this shit. Look at this terrifying stuff right in front of your eyes.
Yeah.
Oh, horrible. And it was so prolonged. Before the shot, it was like, oh my God, is he just going to choke him out here? Right in front of him like this? That was Michael as he used to be.
Very true.
I do like how brutal and unforgiving he was in this film.
Yes, we're talking about 1978 here, by the way.
Yeah, I know. I'm just talking about in general from that point.
Yes.
Also, do you know what's really nice about that bit is it had Jim Cummings in it.
I know, lovely. I didn't know that either. What a surprise.
Have you seen the stuff he's been putting on Twitter? He was just like so happy to be part of these films.
I know, bless him, man.
And like
bless
that was
him.
quite nice afterwards. He was just like, because obviously he's just obsessed with just making films anyway. But like to be part of this film, he was just in love with it.
And again, playing a police officer. He loves playing a police officer.
Immediately I thought that as well.
But again, see, like right off the bat, the fact that it was Jim Cummings in danger in that position, I was like, oh no, not Jim. I feel for him.
You had some sentiment attached to him.
And you know what? Another amazing bit of attention to detail. This is why. Just to put into context, throughout the entirety of this discussion, everything that I'm saying is why I believe that it deserves a 9 out of 10. And the backlash that I've seen online, I have been fuming, boys. The stuff I have seen, the awful opinions from people who haven't got a fucking clue what they're watching, have no history with the Halloween franchise, and are judging this based as a standalone horror film, trying to compare it to things like Get Out and stuff like that. It ain't that. It's an entry in a horror franchise.
But this is my opinion on this film: is I still feel like you could enjoy this film regardless if you've seen the Halloween film before. Yes, it lends a lot more if you know everything, but as an actual horror film, it is a good film. I mean, it's not a good film. Sorry, it's a fun film. You go in there, you have fun. You get a slasher, fucking people up. From the beginning as well. They're great kills. They're imaginative kills, and on that aspect, this film is great. It's just when you do, in my opinion, you look below the paper and you're like, okay, that little bit wasn't great. Did that take up too much time? But you don't watch this film like that. You watch it just to go and have fun, watch it with your heart,
the 1978
and just enjoy
bit is not for newcomers, it's for fans.
No, it's not. But you can, you still enjoy that as well, because it kind of lends you to know, if you haven't watched anything before, you now know what this guy's about.
I imagine it's very similar to what Paul talks about with the DC stuff. Like, yes, you can enjoy some standalone, you can enjoy some DC films not knowing anything about the universe, but if you have history with the universe and understand it all, etc., when you see one of those films, it's extra fucking potent when they get the details right.
Yeah.
And
100%.
I haven't seen, have you seen a single person online saying, for all the criticisms there are, have you seen a single criticism that says they don't show an understanding for the franchise so far?
Yeah,
they don't, because it's complete understanding. Everything that is in there that works so well is like fandom. We're playing to you. We're playing to the fucking audience here.
I've had to mute the words Halloween Kills on Twitter because I just can't.
I need to do that, man. It's
can't
just
do it.
shockingly bad. Because this 78 stuff was just amazing, and they finished it with that pullback shot with Michael standing outside the house with all the guns on him, and Loomis in the doorway, and the camera craning back. They used the same score as the original 78 Halloween. We have not heard that bit of music since the original Halloween, and they use it on that shot as it pulls back, and then the fucking Halloween Kills title card comes up. Jesus, man.
The Halloween intro, that title sequence, is probably one of the I just love that.
Iconic,
and it still looks the same, like the font, everything, and it's like grained still, and it looks like
same font. Yeah.
Well, I enjoy it. I like that it fills in like a little blind spot, because when I was watching, when they got him on the ground and Loomis is pointing his gun at him, I was like, wait a minute, when is this? Because obviously you don't see Michael at the end of the first Halloween.
No.
So I was like, oh yeah, this is literally after the first Halloween, and they caught up with him.
Yeah, later that night. Yeah.
I like that. It's great.
It is. And it's scary. Like, the minute that they said 1978 on screen, I was like, oh shit, I wasn't expecting that at all. I don't know if any of you knew they were going to do that.
No, I was probably, when I saw 1978 as well, I thought they were going to play old footage.
Oh yes.
Oh, right,
yes.
yeah.
I didn't realize we were going to get something new. But like, even like the way that they were stalking, they were trying to hunt Michael down, like in the back alleys and stuff like that. That was so like the original.
Yeah,
that it was
absolutely.
just insanely good.
And Michael, the actor, they got a different actor to play Michael for the 78 stuff, which again, that's great attention to detail, because it would have been so easy for them to go, James Jude Courtney, you play Michael all the way through. It's like, no, he had a different posture then, and that actor actually nailed the way that Michael moved in 78. And the thing that was creepy, I would like to hear your take on why this happened. After he shoots Jim Cummings in the neck, Michael just walks out the house. He doesn't come for him. Why do you think that is?
What, he doesn't go for the other guy?
Yeah. So after Deputy Hawkins shoots Jim Cummings in the neck, Michael just walks out, and the deputy's shouting after Michael and shooting after him, and Michael just walks out the house.
Is it because he knows like he's got enough to deal with right now?
No. Yeah, that's what Michael's thinking. I've got too much.
I've gone too far now.
No, I mean, like, the guy's like, I've got this guy now. Like, he can live with that pain. Rather
I don't think he cares about that either.
I don't know.
I don't have an answer to it. I just wondered.
It's the same as like the whole baby situation. Doesn't he do it again in another point in the film? He leaves someone. He leaves.
Yeah.
He leaves the. He leaves the granddaughter, doesn't he? And then walks off the daughter. But he just gets distracted. He goes after the bigger threat.
I still wanted him to kill that baby.
Yeah.
Oh, that'd have been ballsy as hell, man. If he killed that baby. But one step at a time. He killed a child in the last one on camera, so that was pretty good.
That was wonderful.
And in this one, but off camera.
Yeah, he did.
That's true.
True.
I wanted to kill all of them, but
yes, I agree.
No shit.
That bit was again good fun because like you said, Bennett, kind of in the playful Mike Myers, like he's just sitting in the bushes, like coming out and like playing with them rather than just going straight up and fucking them up.
Yes.
But the one thing that, for me, that let this film down completely was the characters outside of it were just so fucking stupid.
All right, this is a good segue, Adam, because I think we should talk about the characters. Let's talk about each of the other characters.
Like
throughout the
every
film.
single time, they go and attack him alone, and they would do this and they would do that, and they go up to him, and it's like, how many people do you have to literally watch die in front of you to think, number one, you don't go alone, and number two, let's just fucking leave him alone.
Right, steady as it goes. When you're in your house by yourself and you've got an intruder, you don't know who it is. You probably
that couple,
go looking.
fine. But I'm talking like the mob mentality, the guys who went and broke him down, like the old school characters, like especially at the end when they pulled up to his house and the dad was like, "No, I'm doing this alone." You're like, "Come on, bro!" Like,
I can understand that though. It's his kids, but there is a lot of times where a mob's going after them, and they all split off into like single parties.
Yeah, it's like, don't do that. Just walk around together.
But then also,
it's safety
okay,
in numbers. It's just so stupid that.
But think about a real mob. Now,
bad.
listen, right? Why do you say that they shouldn't be breaking up like that? Because you're thinking about the entire Halloween mythology. Bear in mind, at this point in this timeline, all they know about Michael Myers is that he broke out of hospital 40 years ago and killed 3, 4, 5 people. There's no hint that he's supernatural or anything like that. He's escaped again and he's a killer.
Yeah,
so as far as they're concerned, they're dealing with a man.
He's massive, he's bulky, he's got a machete. Let's not go and attack him by myself.
He ain't got a machete.
He has a
He had
butcher
a knife.
There we go. Thank you, Scott.
Sorry.
I mean,
we pay attention
vital.
to detail over
Gonna
here.
call him Jason next, aren't you? Jesus
Yeah.
Christ.
But yeah, there was a lot of stupid decisions made by the outside characters that were quite irritating.
I mean, it all does lead up to this mob coming together. Like, we have to fight together to take them down.
Yeah.
He dies tonight. If I hear that one more time, fucking hell.
Yes.
But they are just
Evil
really
dies
annoying
tonight.
people. They're just all
Evil
empty
dies tonight.
characters.
All right, so let's.
Evil
Hang on a
dies
minute. Let's
tonight.
talk about this stuff because
Evil
one of the
dies
things
tonight.
that shut up.
Evil
One of the
dies
things
tonight.
that I wanted to. You're so fucking annoying. One of the things I wanted to say about this film, more than many horror films that I can think about, is majority of the supporting characters, for the most part, particularly Big John and Little John, who I fucking adored.
They were good
are
fun.
Characters that get humanized before they die, and you don't want to die.
Yes.
The people who died in this, for the most part, I didn't want to die. I didn't want
they were
Lonnie to
good in
die.
that.
I didn't want Big John and Little John to die. I don't know their names. I didn't want the interracial couple to die. I didn't want Marion to die. I didn't want Tommy to die. These are people I didn't want to die. I didn't want that inmate to jump, even though he inevitably was
are you
going
not
to.
wanting them to die because they've been in the franchise before?
No, because I cared about them. I cared about like, Big John and Little John, the new characters.
I don't think they fleshed them out enough. The cast returning. Like, Tommy was just on a rampage to try and go after Michael. I don't think they tried to flesh his character out.
The only one I was let down by was Marion. I just feel...
Yeah. That's the same for me.
Yeah.
Was she the one who
everyone
ran
else
over
I
to the
felt-
little girls on the
The nurse.
swings?
The nurse. Okay.
Okay.
So who got killed in the car?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I agree with that because I also find it slightly contrived that she was even there with them. I don't see why she was hanging out with them. But I feel like maybe they said something like each year they get together.
Yeah.
I might have made that up.
They made like a support group, didn't they? But
Yes,
but
that come together on Halloween night.
I mean, he just smashed the window on the car and ran away, didn't he?
No, but she's in H2O as well.
Yes.
Oh yeah, she is.
She dies at the beginning.
Oh yes,
Yeah.
yes. Oh,
and
there you
and
go.
she's in Halloween
But
too.
H2O is not part of this universe,
No.
I know.
so he only smashes the window and
Yeah.
then runs away.
But either way, we can assume that after the events of Halloween, she and Loomis would have had some interaction with those kids.
Yeah.
Psychologically, probably, you know?
See that, but I think a thing that really. So with the first one, I think they were approaching this franchise seriously, like the first one was, but this one felt a little too light-hearted, like the whole nurse and the surgeon, and like making herself shoot herself in the head, and then stabbing that guy in the head. And I was like, it's a bit. It's using
It's
all
fun.
that.
It worked for me.
That worked for me, man. That was
No, but
fun.
I'm saying the Halloween 2018, they didn't approach it like this. Make this fun.
I disagree.
It was
I said
scary.
To Jenny, I think this. I'm glad they dropped the humour for this. There's
Yeah,
still
but that's-
humour in this,
but
but that
that's what I'm
first
saying.
one had more.
That's what I'm saying. That's what the first one had more.
The first one had more humour in it, I think.
What, you talk about the original Halloween film?
No, 2018.
2018.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
In what sense?
There was more humour, silly nonsense in that. So her mates, all of I've forgotten her name, Alison's friends in that,
Oh yeah, but they're all just kids. They're dumb kids. That's just normal slasher mentality.
Exactly, but they dedicate time in that Halloween movie to them, which completely bored me, as I said before.
Yeah.
Whereas the time spent with the sub characters in this didn't. You know, it would have been so easy for Big John and Little John for me not to give a fuck about them. They're these so-called throwaway characters. I cared about them. There was humour in there, but the humour worked. The fact that fucking Big John picks up a cheese knife to tackle Michael Myers, that's funny and terrifying at the same time.
So the bit where they go, I've got this knife. I've got this knife.
Yeah.
I so wanted Michael to appear and go, well, I've got this knife. I thought if he's going to say
if
one
he
line...
spoke, though, would that have ruined it?
Yes.
Of course.
Yeah. He's going to speak in Halloween Kills, by the way. I'm saying it now. Halloween Ends, I mean.
You reckon?
Do you reckon he'll die in it? Like,
never mind. We'll talk about
die?
that at the end. We'll talk about what's going to happen in the next one afterwards.
But I thought the Lindsay character was done really well. I thought she brought back
Yes.
like this kind of sass and attitude that I think someone that went through a trauma like that would have, really.
And again, fan service, man, because like you could have just recasted there, but you've given us the original child actor there, so that resonates a little more. It's significant, I think, that she is the only one here from those survivors of the first film, apart from Laurie, to still be alive.
Yes, true.
I feel like we may be seeing her again in the finale.
I also appreciated Tommy's delivery of you protected me 40 years ago, now it's my turn to protect you.
I loved that.
Yeah, I thought
I love that. And here, so come on, let's talk about our boy Tommy. I understand why people could not like him. I understand that, but I did.
Can I ask, before you go into his character, can I ask, are you glad it's not Paul Rudd?
Yeah, I am now, because he's too big. Paul Rudd worked for Halloween 6, because I am quite a fan of Halloween 6, and it worked in that. But I wouldn't have liked him to be in this. No.
And I just think Paul Rudd is too comical and too well known.
Yeah, now
to do
for
that
sure,
kind
exactly.
of character.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't think it would have worked at all.
Doesn't it feel right that Tommy would be this way?
Yeah, completely, absolutely.
Rather than a totally sympathetic character, it feels like Tommy would be this. All this terrible shit happened when I was a kid. I'm dealing with my own trauma, and probably he's probably a Republican. He probably would have voted Trump.
Gun toting.
I mean, I'm with you on that one.
Yeah, I mean, he's a little.
But
bit
is this a reason
gung-ho.
to like him?
No, but it's not necessarily about liking him.
This is why I didn't like him.
Haddonfield's a Trump town, okay?
Yeah, Haddonfield's a Trump town. This is why he's interesting. As a fan favourite, as someone from the original, we'd assume he'd be very sympathetic, someone we could all love. This is why some people are pissed off. But he's a survivor. And he is a bit Trumpy. He's a Trumpist with his way of life. We root for him because we want him to defeat Myers, but he's very bullish and arrogant and in his way to do it. And the fact that he thinks he can take on Myers with a fucking baseball bat at the end, come on now. We lose him at the end. We lose this guy at the end. It's a message. It's sad. He was innocent originally. He was a child. But that brutal presence of Myers in the past has forced him down this toughened path. It kicked into overkill. Jamie Lee Curtis keeps saying a lot about this film and the previous film dealing with trauma.
Oh my god, that video on YouTube makes me laugh so hard.
I know, how it's mentioned so much.
It's literally just Jamie Lee Curtis for like 3 minutes going, this film's about trauma.
trauma, yeah. But it's how it affects people in different ways.
Yeah, completely.
And for him, he's gone, in the same way that, someone who's abused as a child can become an abuser in later life. We can see Tommy, having gone through this situation, hasn't become like this damaged, shrinking violet. He's become more bullish about it, and he's never had a chance to do this before because Michael hasn't come around. He's just been like, let's remember the past, let's not forget, like almost like a 9/11. Remember 9/11, remember those who died, those people who are real patriotic about that sort of thing. For him, this is his 9/11, I think.
I think that's just it, though. It's just that I'm sure you, because you have the weight of the franchise on him as well, and I like my characters to be sympathetic. I want to root for you.
What,
I
you,
didn't
Katie?
root for him. I didn't.
Why
do I care about him?
Because
he was a child.
Why should I care about him? Because he was a child. Yes, he was a child. But then A child who gets touched as a child and then touches when they're older, I shouldn't feel sorry for him.
Yeah, but I know, but he's not being a serial killer.
That's what I'm
using
saying.
That as
That's
an
the
example.
extreme version, but it's just like, I don't care about you.
This is probably just a guy that relives that night over in his head every single night.
Yeah, well, that's
I
fine.
think he's dealing with as much trauma as Laurie is in a very different way.
That's why I can be sympathetic for Laurie, but not for him.
Yeah,
Fair
but
enough.
people can have bad things happen to them and turn out bad and rough around the edges, and that doesn't. And you can still sympathise that they've gone down that route. Like, there's a reason for all the terrible things that people do in the world. Even Michael Myers, there will be a reason why.
Of course, but I feel like dedicating a film for him being the main person going after Michael Myers, that is not a good film for me. I want Laurie. I'm supporting Laurie and I'm backing Laurie to do it.
You got Laurie in the last film.
I thought Laurie was a bit of a sap in this one.
Well, because she didn't do anything. They didn't give her anything to do. Because she's been stabbed and she's in a bed and she can't do anything. And it's believable because it's on the same night, so she shouldn't be able to do anything. But why should we have to follow Tommy?
Again, I think it's because it's for the fans.
Yeah, that's what I mean. That is why I can understand why you like it.
Yeah.
I absolutely love that you like this. You love this film.
You meant to get to that point where this town is fed up of all this dark shit happening. That you know what, we'd take the town back ourselves. And like they said at the hospital, what is this? Fuck. You failed us too many times when he says it to the police, which they have. You know, they've let this guy.
No, they haven't. They've let him fail once.
No, they let him out in 78, and they've let him out again. Twice they've cut.
Too many.
To the
one
town.
too many times.
3 times.
Also, stop
Michael
moving him on
has
Halloween.
Yeah, but
Move him on Easter.
While we're on the subject, that hospital scene, I hated. With the
pointless.
I just thought it was too chaotic, and it was just the guy when he's banging on the glass, and then you meant to expect that no one saw him run off, and he doesn't look like Michael to start off with.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
but at the same time, no one knows what he looks like.
But they know his height and stuff. Surely,
No, but this is a mad mob who's been told by Tommy, everyone go after Michael, and then everyone's like, I don't know what he looks like. I'm just
People
going to go
don't
after
think
this
for
guy.
themselves, do they?
But I knew they were working their way up for him to jump.
But I feel like Judy Greer locked him in, and then she just stood there. It's like, don't you want to shout that this isn't the person?
She was shouting.
She wasn't.
Yeah,
she
she was.
She
They
was
were ignoring
She was
her.
standing there.
Shouting.
No, she was shouting
she could've
even
done
on
a
the
better
stairwell on the way up, and Jamie
done
Lee
a better
Curtis
job.
was shouting.
They
They were both shouting.
There was a section where there was a bit where Tommy finally understood what she was actually trying to shout. Like,
It was only when they
that's not
got to the
him.
glass window, wasn't it?
Yeah, like that's not him.
Do you think that may be the reason for all this stuff? Like I know that this is probably the weakest part of the whole movie for me. This is where it kind of falls down for me. So I'm not going to defend it, but I do think in real life this is how those fucking mobs are. They make appalling decisions. They rush. They don't think. There's things that are obvious that they shouldn't do. They haven't got a clue how to organise. Maybe that even plays into what you're saying about them breaking into smaller groups. They shouldn't have done that. They're disorganised. They're a fucking dumb mob. But that's the way that it goes. And I think Blumhouse, or I can't remember what his fucking name is, the guy, Jason Blum. Is his name Blumhouse?
No, it's Jason Blum.
Jason Blum.
Blum. I think Jason Blum likes making these like social, political commentaries in his horror films about what's going on in the world, and I appreciate it, but it was a little bit clumsily handled here.
But there was the same with is it Halloween 2? There's a mob in that one as well. And
Halloween 4, yeah,
is it
they
4?
get the
Yeah,
big
4,
mob in
and they
4.
kill someone in the bush that's not meant to, obviously.
Yep.
So it just
They always kill. Yeah, exactly. This is not the first time they've innocently killed people. In Halloween 2, Loomis and Sheriff Brackett chase after a kid who gets pinned between an ambulance and a car
yeah, I forgot
and
about that.
explodes.
Yeah.
They kill an innocent. In Halloween 4, yes, the mob kills someone in a bush. It's Ben Tramer. Idiot.
Yes. Yeah. But but the whole scene with them chasing him around the hospital, I'm like, I just felt it needed like some Harry Hill or whatever music along it.
It just seems so detached from
it was
the rest
very
of the story.
detached. Yeah.
It was like mad mob, and then it's not like it builds. It's like they all just suddenly are in the hospital, and it builds really, really quickly. It's not like it goes along the story, and then suddenly this major thing happens. They make the mob, and then they immediately kill the wrong person.
And you know that character's in the first one, don't you?
What, the
2018.
Yeah, under the umbrella.
Under the umbrella, yeah. You know when they go and see Michael and he's standing outside in his little box?
yes.
He's got his little umbrella.
I can picture in my head now. Yeah, very good, very good.
Very good.
I think maybe the reason that they include this is to make some sort of commentary on other people trying to fight battles for survivors or victims when it's, and like making it about them when it should actually be about the victim. So Tommy, yes, he was a victim in his own way, but Laurie was the real victim. But Tommy deciding that he's going to take up the martyrdom for this cause and he's going to be the figurehead removes the real battle from Laurie. So her being sidelined, her like falling down in the corridors when she's trying to intervene is like, you're the actual victim, but we're going to take it upon ourselves to fight your battle. It's like, hang on, no, we don't need these white saviors to come along and fight these battles, these white male saviors to come along. The women can do it, the racial minorities can do it.
I agree.
And the way that it ends, like, I don't think it's any coincidence that this fucking mob is butchered by Myers at the end, because Myers, he ain't gonna be taken down by this brute force nonsense. It's not like they were saying this brute force nonsense was gonna do it.
It always amazes me how no one ever shoots him in the head, stabs him in the head,
I know.
nothing.
Just try it at least.
I did like the Judy Greer with a pitchfork. I enjoyed that because that took me back to Halloween 5.
Oh yeah, yeah.
But yeah, what did we think about Judy Greer and her daughter Alison?
Wasted.
I really like Judy Greer.
I don't
fucking
think. I
love
don't
Judy Greer.
think. Are you saying Alison is the granddaughter? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, I don't think she had anything to do in this film at all, apart from being scared before Judy Greer comes along to save her.
She has a wonderful moment of acting where she's in the car with Lonnie and his kids.
Yes.
And Lonnie mentions her dad, and it's very subtle.
She goes from laughing to crying.
Yeah,
didn't she?
that was very good, well acted.
And they don't put that shit, and that's what I appreciate about this film. They don't put that shit in horror films. Terrible things happen, and you don't really see like relatives.
An emotional side.
And people getting emotional about it, and we saw that in this from both of them, with the dad, about the dad in the hospital as well. Less so Alison, but Judy Greer
Locked herself in the room, didn't she?
Yeah, she was so much more interesting to me in this film than the last. Like, I loved how she strongly believed also that Michael was coming after her mum in the hospital. I was like, well, he's coming here, so get ready. He's coming here.
Yeah.
Standing in for those like typical audience expectations.
I think that maybe this is why, as well, that because it focused so much on that, where that was the point I was trying to make in the first one, that I thought that's what they were doing anyway, but now they're just doing it over again, saying, oh, they're coming after us. I was like, but no, they're not. He's not coming after you. Because that was the point I was trying to make in the first. Like, you're not important to Michael.
Yeah, but they kind of retconned that a little bit in that last Halloween. They were doing that thing of, but right at the end, once he knows that she's there, he comes for her. So like he drives the car.
No, it's because the doctor was leading Michael there.
Yeah, but remember, I
He was
listened to
trying
our
to force
podcast
it.
about this a couple of days ago because I wanted to hear what we were saying, and we said in that episode, our belief during that episode was that after the doctor was killed, Michael is the only person who's still alive. So how does Michael then get to Laurie's house? He drives to her house. So he's like, that's a final, I'm coming to you.
It's not, isn't it? Because the doctor's driving the police car and Michael's in the back of the police car.
Yeah, but Michael kills Sartan.
But he's literally in the driveway of.
No, he's
Laurie's
down the
house.
road. Down the road.
Yeah, literally down the road, and he goes towards a police car which is outside Laurie's house.
Yeah.
So he's almost.
But I agree with you though. I agree with you
breadcrumbs.
though that I think they retconned it a bit in this film because they didn't make it totally clear in the last, but they definitely retconned it to make it. Yeah, Michael wasn't coming for her, and I like that. We really get that clarity here because even halfway through the film, I was like, oh well, when's Michael going to get to the hospital? And it was only after the film ended that I was like, oh shit, we got no Michael and Laurie there.
I mean, this is the first Halloween film to have no Michael and Laurie interaction whatsoever.
Is it?
Yeah.
Well, you just expect them to see each other.
Yeah.
When you put the hero and the villain in there, you expect them to see each other.
So they've basically, I don't want to talk about the ending yet, but they have the fact that they've kept them apart here is because they're going to bring them together in a fucking big way.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course. And it will all make sense in the end. And I have total faith now. If I had doubts previously, which I did, I now have total faith that this trilogy is going to fucking work.
Great.
Is it the whole thing that like, they kept saying the only person who can kill him is Laurie?
Well, no,
Do you
she
believe
was
in
saying
that
that.
shit?
She was like, it has to be me. But then Deputy Hawkins...
Yeah, he said it has to be me.
We'll talk about this in the end. Because this comes to the ending and Michael Myers. Just going back to Alison, do you not think that this third film is going to be Alison's film? Because she's now lost her dad, her mum, and her boyfriend.
I think it's going to be Laurie's film again because she's lost her daughter and she needs revenge. She needs to find and kill him.
That's the reason that Judy Greer died at the end, because to fire Laurie for the next one.
She's going to be vexed when she finds out.
I'm hyped. I can't wait to
When's
find
out
out what
next year?
Laurie's going to do.
Next October, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gutted because I thought Judy Greer was a great...
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Like-
she served a purpose.
I know, but she's great.
I think Alison is set to come to the fore alongside Laurie. Me and Paul talked about this on our Patreon episode. We were like, what's going to potentially be the best and worst case scenarios? And we said worst case was kill Laurie. And we said best case kill her daughter and granddaughter.
Yeah. So
And they went halfway. So I
Halfway.
think I can totally accept Alison and Laurie teaming up. But who knows what? Maybe Alison will go the way of Jamie Lloyd, and because she had a big fascination with Michael's knife in this
Yes, she did.
many times.
Yes.
I also still have my theory, but I don't know whether you want to talk about it now or not.
Does it relate to what's going to happen in the
It
next film?
relates to me, yes.
Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it at the end. Can I
Okay.
just suggest a couple more characters quickly?
Yes,
Yep.
go on.
Lonnie, very happy to see him. He was a nothing character in the original Halloween, but he was in there a couple of times trying to sneak into the Myers house, and Loomis bullied him off. So the fact that he became a character in this was wonderful.
Oh, yes, I've just remembered.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just remembered that scene now.
Loomis
I was
is
thinking,
like,
I thought they
Lonnie,
made
get
it up.
your ass away from there.
I thought they
And then he
made that
runs away.
scene. I thought they made the character for this film, but now I remember Lani.
Get your ass away from there.
And you know what? He's more, and this is the thing that's great. He was more sympathetic and human than Tommy was.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
I'd back him.
But like, I still value Tommy's inclusion. It's just that he wasn't as sympathetic. And there's something in there about the fact that Michael was walking right up to him, and then the police turned the corner and Michael's not there. I don't think that was meant in the traditional sense of Michael Myers always just disappears when you look again. I think something else was going on there. But again, this will tie into my...
I do have to say that when he goes into the house alone and leaves the kids in the car, when the kids go in the house first after, and they're like trying to find him, do they think that he just went upstairs and put a record on, or think, oh, Dad's just trying to find Michael, he's just put some music on to put him in the mood? I'm just it just makes me laugh. It's so funny.
There was something nice about him going into that house after, like, again, nostalgia and thinking back to him as a little kid. He could never go in.
No,
He
Yeah.
was always
he
being
does.
peer pressured to go there.
And he'll
then
never leave.
finally he goes in. Yeah, never leave. He's part of it now.
To be honest, the whole finale bit in the house I actually enjoyed. I thought it was really
Oh,
good.
yeah. Do you know what? That reminded me of Halloween 6 Curse of Michael Myers a lot, because there was stuff on the staircase that took place in Halloween 6 in the Myers house.
Yeah.
I never thought of this film being overly violent until I think it was Mark Commode said it in his podcast, saying that this film is the violence in this film is too much, and I just never really thought of it in that way. And then I spoke to Dan, and he said his girlfriend was like wincing away from the screen, like she didn't want to watch it. It was too
Yeah,
much.
Zoe hated it.
And it's like I never thought of it that way until people started mentioning it. I just thought it was what you come to expect from a film like this.
Some of the kills that he did in this were particularly brutal, but I love to see it. Like, fuck me. When he... Oh, Jesus. Let's talk about this one.
With the light bulb through the neck.
Yeah.
That was great.
So,
That
him
was so
walking
good.
in, oh, man. And you want her to live, don't you?
Yeah.
I almost thought, she's going to get out. She's going to get out.
And then her being stabbed in the neck and then having to slowly die while watching Michael stab her husband repeatedly
Just
with different knives.
absolutely brutal. Oh, God, how fucked up. And Michael, like,
did enjoy
literally
that.
using him as a cheese board.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Slam different knives. Now, do you think so Jenny thought that he was stabbing the knives into him until he found the right knife that he wanted, but I just saw it as him fucking playing with his prey.
I thought he was
I never
praying with his
thought of
prey.
it that way, but I feel like that does kind of make sense as well.
It's
He
just
doesn't
like,
carry the knife for the rest of the film, doesn't he?
Yeah.
and it's just like him praying with the prey when he stages the doctor and nurse when he's killed them
Yeah.
on the roundabout with the Halloween 3 masks.
He's
Thank you.
He's very artistic.
Did you like that, Ben?
I loved that, yeah. Nice little throwback to that.
I actually enjoyed seeing the nurse and doctor as well, because obviously
Yeah, I liked
they were
them.
in Michael's path in the first one.
Yes, they
Were
were.
they?
Yes. So
Yes.
after he killed the woman when she lowered the blind and stabbed her in the neck,
Yeah.
he went on to the next house. The nurse and the doctor were coming out to the car, and he forgot his stethoscope then, which he said again.
That's right.
Okay.
And then,
Interesting.
yeah, so they just got in the car and drove off. So they just missed him.
That is interesting.
Because they even said that that's their street when they saw it on the news.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Did you hear that yourself?
See, Ben, I do pay
Did you see that
attention.
yourself, or did you
You do.
just read the facts?
No, I know this shit.
I know. I wish I'd rewatched the first one before I went to see this, but I didn't have it anywhere, so I didn't rewatch it.
The most the bit that I was like, do I like this or is this over the top? And I've decided I love it. Was all the stuff at the car with the doctor and with Marion and with Lindsay. That all worked. Yes, it was certainly not what Halloween has been before, but that's not a bad thing. We're not trying to recreate the original Halloween. We can't. It's done something very, very new, this entire film.
That's
and
interesting.
all those death scenes there fucking worked.
That's where it started losing.
There was a deleted scene there as well.
Really?
With Lindsay. So you know how when she's found, she's covered in like mud and stuff like that. It's because she actually hid in the swamp or the lake.
She went into it.
Yeah, but you don't see that.
Wow. That was super tense.
Although I was like, why didn't she keep running? Like, there's a bridge, run, like run.
Yeah, I suppose.
You told the kids to run, not stop. Run.
Yeah.
But I thought killing Marion was great.
And great. And what? How nice? Yeah, she's always dying. Fucking poor Marion. She gets to say this one's for Dr. Loomis, and then no bullets in the gun.
Oh yeah.
And that's a nice.
Because she wasted him just opening all the windows.
She shouldn't have.
Yes,
she should have
right.
shot him without saying that line.
Yeah, but Halloween 2, Dr. Loomis is right at the end, fires his gun at Michael, and bang, no bullets, and Michael stabs him.
Yeah. I thought the stab in the eye up the head was good as well.
That was the most shocking because I wasn't expecting it. It slid in there like butter.
Yeah.
I think the reason why this didn't work for me is the fact that coming from being a big fan, right? I can understand you having some relationship with these characters, but it's like me saying there's a DC character which I love, but you've only just seen him in a film for the first time. You won't have any relationship with that character, but I already have the backstory. I love that character because I love the franchise. I just saw this as a load of randomers. Why should I care about you?
Yeah, I do agree with the fact that Ben said that they did a good job of building these people up as characters before they killed them.
What did they do?
Oh, mate, they did. They made all of them so much more human.
What? Because they were in that bar doing a talent show, and then Tommy goes,
I've got a story
to tell you, and everyone's like, this is not the time or place to do this story, mate. We're doing a talent show.
Yeah.
Is that building the character?
I didn't remember who the characters were.
It's not about building character and going, oh, this person's had a drug addict in their family and this person lost their mum at this age. It's about making them human. Can you make them human? And everyone in this film felt human. No one was 2D to me. I believed in all of them.
But why so are they building these characters in this film? So like all the victims of Michael Myers, do they really build them? How do they build them, and where is it in the film?
What do you mean build them? It's about making me care. Like for a horror film.
Where do they make you care about them in this film?
Through little things that they say, little relations. So immediately the doctor and nurse, they've got a fun little banter dynamic. They've got a relationship there. You care about them. You care about
that's
Tommy because
it's
of everything
one
that he's
throwaway
been
line
through.
and they die.
It's not a throwaway line. These are people that I care about, mate. If it didn't grab you, it didn't grab
you. You care about the doctor and nurse?
Yeah, of course I
didn't want
do.
them to die. I quite liked them. They were a good, fun couple.
But
I mean, technically, one of them killed themselves.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, Michael didn't do that.
I just feel like
he's just trying to open the door for her.
Everyone
damn it, man, I wanted to kill her.
Everyone who was supposed to be after Michael in this film was not built up as a character, and they're pretty much just pedestrians that I'm supposed to care about.
You can't, but how can you build up? You've got so many characters in this film, which I don't think is a problem, by the way, incidentally. So I don't think you can spend a lot of time building them out much more than you did. I think it's to the film's credit that it made me care enough about so many different characters, considering the limited screen time. But like that interracial couple, they're on screen for what, 3-4 minutes? Just their silly dynamic with each other is believable. It feels like a very real relationship. It makes me care about them. They're not just fodder for Michael.
They die in 5 minutes.
Yeah, but they're not just fodder. They're not just you die and you don't
any
care.
Horror film, and it's not like you just call them a legendary character just because they die in 5 minutes.
No, but I'm not saying they are legendary characters. They don't have to be legendary characters. I'm saying that it makes me feel for them. So practically every kill by Michael in this film, I feel all the more because I don't want that person to die. Whereas in Halloween 3 years ago, Alison's friends who die, like that kid when he's slammed through the gate on the fence, I don't give a fuck about him. That I'm like, good, I want to see you die. Yeah, good. Michael killed that one. Michael killed that one. Michael killed that one. This was more like, I don't want you to die.
To me, I really did not connect with any of the characters enough for me to be like, I don't want you to die. I feel like they're all just NPCs walking around, and then you've got the big main characters, Laurie and the granddaughter and her daughter in hospital doing nothing.
Well, they weren't doing nothing. Alison went out with the lynch mob right away. Karen was trying to defend that escape patient and defend her mum.
But
Laurie
come on now.
Is the ticking
the
bomb
escape
waiting.
patient, we've already said, is a worthless scene, a worthless part of the film, and that's not.
I don't think it's a worthless point. I think it was badly handled, but I still felt something for him, and I think it said something about the lynch mob mentality, and that's what I'm saying with that Blum guy, that he clumsily puts his social political politics into it, but I think it makes a wider point about victims and who should be challenging who, and how you destroy.
I think it's just too detached. Relate it to Michael Myers, and then I'll go with the points you're trying to make.
Yeah. Well, either way, I'm stunned that you say you don't care about any of the characters, because I specifically made a point of saying to Jenny when I came out, the reason it worked so well is because I cared about so many of those characters.
No, I really didn't.
No, there you go. You are cold and heartless.
I am.
Just like Michael. That maybe Michael is akin to you, and you could do what
That's
Michael
all I wanted.
did.
I wanted more Michael.
He was in it a lot.
You got a lot of
I
Michael
feel like he
in
wasn't.
this.
You got what?
We got so much Michael.
I want creepy Michael, and I don't want him killing people. Just
God's
walking around,
sake.
standing in doorways.
Yeah, but then we're going to get 1978 Halloween, which you can't recreate
redo.
that lightning
Like
in a
Ben
bottle.
said in the Jaws 2 one, is in the first film that works because it's the presence of the person that you're scared of.
You
but
got
once
it,
you've
you got
seen
it,
them
yeah.
killed, that scariness is gone. You just want them to see them kill now. So when the second film comes around, you just go straight from the beginning, fuck it, let's just kill everything, like in Jaws 2.
I see, no, but they handled it perfectly in 2018 for me.
Yeah, but
Because
we were
he
being
was scary,
reintroduced to him. We've been reintroduced to him.
The kills are like, let me walk in, fleeting kills, walk into someone's house, I just kill this woman. That is scarier to me than going smashing someone's head loads of times.
It almost feels in this film
stabbing
as
someone in the
if
head.
he's really pissed off now. Like he's been burnt alive, his face is ruined, his mask is ruined. He's really pissed off, and he's just
killed
taken
some of
anger
America's finest firefighters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck's sake, give him a break.
I personally see, like, me and you've just had different experiences, Paul. I'm not saying that you're wrong, but this is just my opinion.
But you're wrong.
Yeah.
But for me, I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm
But
just saying
you're
for
wrong.
me, I cared about these characters, and Michael, for me, was much scarier in this film. I was scared in this film in a way that I wasn't really.
His
in the
mask was
2018.
fucking awesome though.
Yeah, it was,
Yeah.
100%.
His presence, I felt more terrifying in this one than I did the 2018 one.
Oh, no,
Yeah.
I've got to disagree there.
Like like when he smashed that light before he stabbed the woman.
Yeah, fuck
he was
me.
he just stood there staring at her, and I was like,
Yeah,
fuck.
that's scary. That's
The only
scary.
thing is, if you smash those lights, they explode. They don't just pop like that.
All right, fucking engineer over here. We're not worried about that. Listen, there was brutal shit in 2018. Like, he smashed that police officer's skull on the floor into oblivion. So it's not like this one ramped it up.
But, I
We
mean,
just saw
it's
a little
very-
bit more
it's
of it.
very
Also killed a
quick-
kid in the first
It's
one.
very quick, fleeting kills. Where this is, you're staying with the kills for a long time, and I think that makes it. It just makes it. I don't know. Although it's so gruesome, it takes away the scariness for me.
It was working for me because of seeing that body, that guy getting stabbed by so many knives. Being in that scene for so long is what made that terrifying. Yeah,
terrifying, but a little off-putting.
Well, I should hope so. He's murdering innocent people.
Of course.
I mean, all they did was live next to Laurie, for God's sake, Christ.
Yeah.
You'd live nowhere near the fucker.
Let's talk about the fucking man himself then. And the ending and all of that shit.
Go on. What you got to say?
So here's what I got to say. Let me say my bit and then discuss. So from that stuff in the house is good. I do like it. And the moment that Alison breaks her leg when she falls down the stairs, I'm like, how the fuck is she getting out of this? So when Judy Greer turns up, I'm like, okay, all right, we're going to do it this way. But from the moment that he gets unmasked by her and has to walk to that baying mob, I was like, fucking hell, what's going on here? Seeing him, like, in another director's hands, seeing unmasked Michael Myers, balding unmasked Michael Myers.
I thought you
comical.
guys were going to be annoyed about that, like the whole taking his mask off thing. I thought it'd like ruin this. I thought it was like one of those things you don't do in a Halloween film, and that's why this film.
He's been unmasked. He's been unmasked in the very first Halloween film.
Yeah, I know, but you don't see it at this level. Though,
you don't really see him here. You get glimpses. It's very quick.
Yeah, but you could paint a picture of his face through the pictures
I've got to say, I enjoyed it.
Yes,
I did, but.
And him walking after her, I knew something special was happening here. We've never seen it for this duration. And whether you like the lynch mob or not, when he walked into that street and they are all there, I was like, okay, where are we going here? Because of all the things that have happened in Halloween, we have never had him, apart from Halloween 4, surrounded by people who want him dead. In Halloween 4, the lynch mob turn up and shoot him down a mine shaft. A bit silly, but it works. But here it's like we've got an entire fucking mob flanking him on all sides. And then for him to catch a beat down like he did, when he caught that beat down, I was like, okay, if they end it like this is going to be disappointing because we all know he ain't dead. So when they cut back to Karen with Alison at the house, I was a bit like, But to have him get up and kill off Brackett and Tommy just like that, boom, boom, our fan favourites. This was a defining moment. This is fuck your Halloween, fuck what you think you know, and fuck what you think we're doing. He is more than a man. He is not a man. Michael Myers is something else. He is symbolic. The mob could not defeat him. So the fact that he goes in behind Karen and kills her at that window where he's killed his sister before, where he killed Jim Cummings before, there is something inside him. There is a power. Something is rising. So when Laurie says the more he kills, the more he transcends in people's minds, this is the significant thing. Michael Myers is more than a man because of the power that people put onto him, the amount of fear that they have, the amount of power he has as an abuser over the years, which is built up, is the reason that he is so strong. So in Halloween Ends, in order to defeat him, they're going to have to stop thinking of him as the boogeyman. They're going to have to think of him as Michael Myers. They have to tackle Michael Myers and not the boogeyman, because they kept repeating that mantra, which is what made him so fucking powerful in this film. And I like the fact that essentially what it's saying is, as long as you keep fearing me and believing in me and wanting to come at me, I will be undefeated. Because that's where I think Blumhouse's socio-political stuff comes more into play, because it's like the more that you give that abuser power over your life and control over your life, the more powerful they really are. The idea of them is, when really they are just a fucking person. And if you can strip away all else, you'll get to that person. But at this moment in time, at the end of Halloween Kills, he is more than a fucking man. He is the boogeyman. So they need to strip that from him in order to kill him.
Well said.
Wow.
Is it like in The Nightmare on Elm Street when
fear gives him more power?
Yeah, and if you're not scared of him, that's when you can tackle him, kind of thing.
Yeah, only in a much more sophisticated way.
Shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hopefully
he won't go falling through some beds.
I personally, the film pulled itself back for me when I saw the mob and they were all stabbing him and killing him. I was like, I could deal with it just finishing it now. Do not come back from this. Do not wake up, Michael. And as soon as he was killing everyone, I was like, no, now this is unbelievable.
I thought that was brilliant.
Oh, I loved it.
It's like a perfect ballet.
No,
it was so wonderful.
And the only way it could possibly make sense to me is if... Do you want me to say my point now?
Go for it.
Yeah, absolutely.
The only way that could possibly make sense for me is I feel like they were making him some kind of mystical force, right? And the whole Judy Greer thing, I feel like her picking up the knife, stabbing him, it's almost something was transferred into her, and her standing at that window was like, have you just taken on Michael Myers? Because she stood there and Michael walked in behind her. How the hell could Michael Myers get into that house when everyone's surrounding it? I just feel like there's something odd there, that suddenly Michael's walking in behind her, she's standing at the window where Michael was, and she was holding the knife, and then it's like Michael, now she is Michael.
That's just weird.
That is weird, and I wouldn't like it. But that's the only reason.
Well, fortunately, I don't think that's what's happening.
Yes, but that's the only way I could possibly conceive. Suddenly, Michael just killed everyone around the house because somehow he got into the house and then killed Judy Greer.
It was probably a back door or something.
Michael would just sneak into the house. You know Michael.
Well,
we don't need to worry too much about how he got past the police.
It's funny you say that because they do. It's a kind of similar thing with how Halloween 4 ends.
Yeah, it's just like
she touches him and then she murders her.
Yeah, it felt very reminiscent of that.
Mm. I get why. I understand.
Thank you. But I don't like
it. Don't agree.
I don't like it either way.
I mean, that for me was the perfect fucking ending. I couldn't have asked for more. Like, genuinely,
I was shocked.
Yeah, I was so shocked. I was like, yes. And to see Laurie's face cut alongside his, like, Laurie's like, something's happened. That's all. It's like, something's happened. Just to know on some level. And now we are set up for that fucking showdown, man. I cannot wait to find out what happens.
There's a 4-year time jump as well, I think.
Mm.
Yes, and apparently it's going to be pandemic set.
Oh, yes.
Oh,
yeah.
really?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Fuck's
I mean, I don't know how they're
Michael
going to
Myers.
Michael's already wearing a mask.
He's going to wear double
mask.
mask.
Yeah, he was ahead of the curve, baby.
What would you do if they pull his mask off this time and he's wearing
a surgical
mask underneath?
Excellent, wonderful. That would be silly. But they would probably find a way of jimmying in him putting a mask on. It would be the same as when he put his sheet on in 78.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm going to play with you a little bit. I wanted to talk about that bit with you, Paul, particularly, because I know, Paul, you're not a fan of that ghost sheet, why he does that in 78, and you're like, why is he doing this? So, in this film, when he gets that mask taken off him, he's like, oh, fuck it, I'm not even going to kill this girl that's right here, I need my mask. So he has to go all the way to collect his mask before he can do anything. So, the question is, why when he was a child did he kill his sister with a clown mask? Why does he wear this white mask? Why does he put the sheet over him? Why does he need to be covered up when he kills for the most part? I know in 2018 he killed without the mask, but he just didn't have access to it yet. And I'm thinking with the whole window thing, they made a comment about when he was staring at that window, he wasn't actually looking out. He was looking in, like he was looking at the reflection. And I feel like there's going to be something in this final film which delves a little bit into a idea of a hatred of what he sees in himself. When he sees that reflection, when he sees himself, he fucking hates himself. So he needs to be covered up and then deflects that hate onto everyone else for some reason.
Mm-hmm. I enjoy the fact that he wears a mask. The reason I don't like the whole ghost bit is the fact that he's got glasses on top of the sheet.
Yeah, he's like to play. He likes to play with his victims, and we saw more of that today.
He lost his lenses.
It would have been scary just to have the sheet on him. That would have scared me more.
Oh, I don't know. I find it scary that put the glasses
on there as well. I was like, oh, that's a bit silly.
It's funny.
Yeah.
Exactly, it's funny, and that's why it's not scary.
Well,
I think that's the difference, right? I like my fun horror films to be really gory.
God, you're really staring into my eyes when you say
this. And
this.
I like my really dark and gritty horror films to be very realistic and like quick kills and just fast and like scary.
I don't think the faster they kill, the scarier though.
No.
I think seeing someone die slowly is more terrifying.
It's more just seeing Michael like walking down the street in that 2018 one with all these kids just walking past him. No one knows who he is, and he could just be anyone in a fancy dress costume right now. But we know personally he could just kill any one of these people right now, and that's scary to me.
That was scary. That was very effective. Effective.
It's scarier than him actually killing someone to me.
But he was killing people. He was walking down the street and killing people.
But that's what I mean. He walks in, and you see that long shot of him just walking around into someone's house, walking in, the blinds close, and he just drags the woman back.
Yes,
You're not seeing a kill.
It's real
It's
good.
wonderful. It's great.
I did love the playfulness of the with the interracial couple when he just threw the drone
Yes.
back on the chair. And they're like,
And then
what?
when the husband goes into the bathroom and Myers smashes the light out
Yeah,
immediately,
he's
like, don't look at me. It's like, there's a big bastard in the bathroom with a mask on.
I thought, like, when we talk about Michael and like his brutality in this one, like him staging Big and Little John like their, I assume it's
painting.
honeymoon photo that they have on the side.
Yes, yeah.
Was terrifying. Like,
This is
so
like
terrifying.
Michael has evolved into something now, right? Like they've done it not in a way of like, oh, that's not what Michael Myers is like. It's like they're doing this intentionally. I can only imagine is that they are making him not like a sort of like manic jigsaw type killer who has fun with his prey and tries to make a point, but he is like playing with his prey in this film in a way that he really hasn't in the past.
but I think that's also to do with his like growth.
Growth, exactly. It's his evolution. He's
Yeah.
had fucking 40 years at Smith's Grove to come up with new material, and he's trying it out now.
Material. I've always wanted to stab someone like a porcupine.
Yeah.
Well, why not?
Look, come on now, man. When you add all this shit up with 78 and fucking Dr. Loomis and Michael being how he is and killing off Jamie Lee Curtis's sister and like this whole fucking... this ultimate end, which is Michael is not a man at this point, whether that means he is a supernatural entity, I'm not saying that, but I'm saying for the purposes of this film, they have created a swell that says he is not a man now. He's been built up into something else. So in order to destroy him, you're going to have to remove that which has given him that power.
Yeah.
And it is fear. So where do they go from here, boys? Where's it going to end in this next film?
I hope he kills Laurie and gets away with it.
Imagine.
All right. Gets away with it.
I'm not sure where I want it to go.
Yeah, me either.
I don't want him to die.
Is it really bad to
Okay,
want to see Michael?
okay, it's going to end with Laurie and Michael dying together because that's what she says at the end.
I can.
of the film.
Yeah.
But like, how do they get to that point? Like, I don't think it's going to like we're not going to have Michael exploding or having his head chopped off again or something like that. We're going to have something different this time. In order to defeat him, something else is going to have to happen. And I think, personally, we're going to see a lot of this final film with Michael unmasked, and a lot more of a let me destroy Michael, the man, not the image, not Michael Myers with the mask on. I'm going to attack this man.
Mm-hmm.
That's quite
How would you
interesting,
feel about
actually.
this? How would you feel about this? In 78, he killed his sister, immediately walks outside the house, arrested, goes to Smith's Grove. In the 78 film, I mean.
Yeah.
In the
Feel great
flashback,
about it.
in the flashback to that night, after he kills at the window, he goes right outside, arrested by the police, goes to Smith's Grove. Now, he's killed Karen. What immediately happens after this is he leaves the house where we know all the police are, and he gets arrested.
And goes to Smith's Grove.
Yeah.
And
I'd say so
And
because
we
if there's
pick
a
up with him
4-year
in-
difference as well.
So imagine then that Laurie has got to get to Michael, not to kill him, but the third film is Laurie going to Michael, who is incarcerated, and tries to destroy him, where he is as a man, in chains, no mask, no knives, and destroys him in that sort of setting. How she does that, if they handle it well, it could be one of the most beautiful fucking entries.
It's like he's this entity with the mask on, but without the mask, he's actually. It's like an armor, in a way. Like she needs to defeat, like you said, the man, not the mask.
The myth. Yes, the man, not the mask. That should be the tagline. Defeat the man, not the mask.
Would you like to write the last one, Ben, or would you rather someone else?
Oh,
write it for
far
you?
too daunting. No. I was thinking about this the other day. If you were a massive Halloween fan, like if David Gordon Green's a huge Halloween fan, what must it feel like to know you don't actually get the thrill of experiencing these films because you have to put the work in to make them?
That's why I'm not writing Scream 6.
No, there you go.
Too much.
I know it's hard to think about it as well. Like what is there left that can kill Michael now? Right. So we've had the fire. That hasn't done it. The bullets,
That's
the
because
knives.
he was hiding.
But they're not. But what I'm saying is the fire's already been done. They're not going to do fire again, surely. Otherwise, it's just
Beheaded.
happening again.
Drowning. No, he's been beheaded already.
Been beheaded.
Has
I
he?
know
Which one?
it could happen again.
Drowning?
Drowning.
You could take the mask off and then behead him.
But I'm trying to think of stuff. What would be a poetic way for him and Laurie to go out together? Because that's how I'm deciding it's going to end now.
They fall.
They fall, and Michael gets impaled, and Laurie ends up on top of him, impaled also.
And she takes his mask off as they're falling.
And then they
And she
kiss,
gives
and
him
then
a
they die.
kiss.
I think
They
his
make
death
sweet,
is not going to
passionate
be a
love.
physical one. I think she's going to have to break the man.
And then he'd be
he-
like, "Oh, thanks, you snapped me out of that."
Yeah, but not in that way. But in like he will. Fucking hell, man! I don't know how they would have to handle it so well. But
Yeah.
if they could get to a point where Michael
Burns his
spoke-
own mask.
well, something like that. Imagine, my God,
Would you find that would be quite beautiful if he just
Yes.
if he took his mask off and then threw it in the fire?
shot the right way. Yeah,
I mean,
Michael willingly taking it off. Yeah,
we have to be serious in the fact that this isn't going to be for everyone. It's not going to...
no.
Because that's the way franchises and trilogies finish. They don't cater for everyone.
No.
Which is what I don't like about the hate for this film in particular. Like, it's for everyone. It's not catered just for you and your vision. It's for everyone.
Yeah.
So everything I've read recently, I'm done with it.
I've never been more annoyed at people's opinion because everyone is suddenly an expert on something they know fuck all about.
That's just
Yeah,
because
agree.
you got a passion for it, mate. It's
I know.
just so you say like people jumping on something that is the love of your life, and it's like, what do you know?
Yes. It's like some people I've never met going, oh, well, I wouldn't have married her. Why have you married her for? She's this, she's that, she's that. It's like, hang on, what the fuck are you talking about? She's my wife, not yours. Take a look at your wife, mate. Is that what you fall in love with? Jesus Christ, I wouldn't want yours. That's how it go.
Pretty close, I'd say so.
That's life.
It's life. That's what all the people say.
Yeah, I mean, Jesus Christ. Honestly, this film was just... Despite the negative reaction online, I don't care because I just enjoyed it far too much. Fun, terrifying, Michael Myers. And the thing is, you said it there, Scott, because it's the middle film, I kind of almost feel like this is going to be the one out of the trilogy which I like the most because it can afford to divide people and it can afford to end with Michael getting his girl, you know. I think given this whole thing being set up with trauma and her coming to terms with it, I would be surprised if they ended it with anything other than some sort of victory for Laurie, because I think it's almost built up this new franchise of she will come out on top in some way. Like, this is added trauma now. She's got her daughter's just been butchered by Myers. What are we going to have in the final installment?
Especially if she dies, that means Alison's lost her mum, her dad, her grandma.
So do you think she might not be dead?
Who?
Karen.
Oh no, she's dead. She did.
Oh, right. Yeah.
I meant like if...
Oh, sorry, you're talking about Jamie Lee
If
Curtis.
Laurie dies
Dead.
in the last one, then
Yeah.
poor Alison's lost literally everyone.
We don't care about Alice.
I mean,
really.
she can die too for all I care, really, to be honest. But
I know what you mean. I wasn't as annoyed by her. I was never annoyed by her in the first one. Listen, in this franchise, we've had to deal with Tina in Halloween 5, so we ain't fucking bothered by
Very true.
Alison. You
That's
know,
very
if we
true.
can stomach Tina, Alison's stunning.
Yeah.
And to be honest, the scene at the end in the house with her boyfriend, that was chilling. Like
Yeah,
when
it
she
was.
was at the bottom of the stairs, she couldn't move, and she's just watching Michael smash his neck. and his-
Horrible.
I was
Yeah.
like, he deserves it.
Oh yeah, I completely agree.
He
I did-
cheated, so he deserves to die.
I did like Michael
Yes.
hiding in the closet as well.
That's how
When did he
that's
hide in
how
the
horror
closet?
films go.
He
Ben.
was hiding in the closet, and they came out when the boyfriend was upstairs.
Yeah, it was so obvious where he was going to be. The door
couldn't
was like
remember where
slightly
he
ajar,
was.
isn't it?
Yeah,
couldn't remember
he
that
hid,
bit.
like hid in a closet like Laurie did all those years ago.
Yeah.
There you go.
The only thing I didn't like about that finale when Judy Greer leads him to the baying mob was her going, "Gotcha." It's like, why? Stop that! You said that in the previous one. This is your catchphrase now? Well,
Yeah.
not anymore.
Gotcha,
Not anymore.
gotcha. Part 2.
Yeah,
It'll be on a gravestone in the next one.
Yeah.
yeah. She'll burst out of the grave in a post-credit sequence to say it.
Gotcha.
Brilliant.
I do
Wonderful.
think they're going to have to tackle Michael without a mask in this last one. And I think it's ballsy, but I would be actually quite happy with the visuals that we have seen of Michael without his mask in these recent ones. I would be quite happy with him not having the mask on for a majority of it if it's handled in the right way.
And the camera works
If it's
well
part of
because you
breaking
don't
him
see
down.
his face that much.
Yeah,
like
the
the,
shots are so
the
shot.
shots are so well like thought out and planned that you don't see enough for a full face at one time.
A full facial.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm intrigued. I'm very intrigued, and I'll be there next October.
I'll be there too.
100%, most certainly. I'm so nervous
too much
because I
love
feel
for
like
that
I've
first
forgotten something. Hey, I'm happy I enjoyed it too, man. I was so
happy you
ready to
enjoyed
not.
it too.
The big surprise for me is that I place it above H2O because H2O
And
means
me.
so much. I know, and this is not a slight on H2O. It's just that having rewatched it recently and talking about it with the Movie Drone boys and seeing the things that objectively are wrong with it, but liking it despite that, I think here there is less objectively wrong with the film.
So
And,
I enjoy
yeah.
H2O a lot. I really do. I just it takes it out for me because they use the same score as Scream.
I know.
And it really, really irritates me because it just takes me back to Scream.
Have you heard that original score? Real
for
twinkly.
H2O?
Yeah.
Yes.
It doesn't work. Some of it works, but some of it's like, oh, why have you done this? You sound like a Christmas movie here.
Oh, Michael
hardly
at Christmas.
surprising.
That'd be good.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So, sorry, this was the last thing to say. I said this on Twitter the other day, but no fucker replied to me. In Mustafa Akkad, who owned the rights to the Halloween franchise.
I read it. Sorry.
Yeah, so he said it was in the contracts that Michael Myers couldn't be killed. That was it.
Yep.
Any filmmaker who came on board, you can do whatever you want, but you can't kill Michael because he's going to stay alive. So now he died. He actually died in 9/11, I believe. No, he didn't. He died in another terrorist attack. Sorry, not 9/11. Malik Akkad is Mustafa Akkad's son. Malik
Yes.
Akkad now owns all these rights. I want to know if that clause remains, and if it's public knowledge. Because if that clause no longer remains, they will kill him off.
Yeah.
And if it does remain, then we know that Myers ain't dying in the next film
Do you reckon this next one will be the last Halloween film?
No.
for about 10 years, and then they'll make another.
It makes too much money.
Yeah. But this will be a nice self-contained trilogy. I don't think David Gordon Green will do anymore. Jamie Lee Curtis won't do anymore, that's for sure.
Well, no, look at her. She's getting old.
Yes.
No, I think that they'll end it properly. I think. Hopefully.
If they do another Michael film after this, I want it to be like a sort of Suicide Squad of serial killers and brought together. Amazing. Yes, if they could do it,
take
right,
all my money now.
Yes, do it in a way that wasn't completely funny. You know, like Jason versus Freddy. It wasn't. It was stupid, but it had
It gets
Freddy
stupid at
being
the end.
wisecracking and stupid, but Jason was still Jason.
It's Freddy
So if
versus
you had
Jason, by the way.
Yes,
Yeah,
Freddy
but-
versus Jason. Yes. If you had Chucky and Freddy being the comedy relief, then you could have arguably Myers and Pinhead and Ghostface
Ghostface.
and all that shit. Yeah.
How many of them speak though?
Most of them. I
Hello,
think Myers and
Sydney.
Jason are the only ones who don't speak.
Oh, also Ben, the new Chucky series is so good.
Oh, I can't wait to see it. I'm going to wait to watch it properly, but I don't know how long I
I
have to
saw
wait.
him talking about his son. I've seen that little bit pop up on Twitter.
So good.
Who talking about his son?
Chucky.
Oh.
Oh yeah. He's talking about his son from Seed of Chucky.
What, Glinda?
Oh, right.
Glinda, yeah. It's
Glinda,
really
Glinda.
it's done so well. I'm loving it. 2 episodes in now, so
No, I can't wait. I can't wait.
we are being treated this month.
I know. This is all the spoil. This is the big spoil month, giving everything I want, and I just got to cap it off with Ghostbusters next month.
Wonderful.
Oh dear.
Oh man, 5 though, Paul. Come on, man.
I can't help how I feel.
That's an outrageous. This is revenge. This is revenge for me giving Suicide Squad 5. That's what it is. I understood now. I understood.
I'm tempted to rewatch in the future though, just with your idea of this film.
I
And watch
genuinely,
it with a new
honestly,
eye.
could not imagine a better Halloween film being made in 2021.
I'm so happy for you. It really
I'm
makes me
happy.
happy. Right, so let's move on to what some lovely people on Twitter have to say, or not lovely in Ben's eyes. But first we have Stevie Alf, and he says the Tommy Doyle stuff was the lamest shit I've seen in a long ass time.
Wait, either this guy hasn't watched movies in 10 years and that's the case, or he only watches 10 out of 10 classics, IMDb top 250, and that's it. Because there is a hell of a lot of worse shit out there.
I feel like this has to be Ben just commenting on every single one. Okay.
Well, they're all
Should
wrong.
I say the next one? Should I see?
Yeah,
see what
read the
comment-
next.
Okay. Steve Price, he says, it doesn't give you decent dialogue, character development, or any coherent story, but it does give you everything you want in a Halloween movie, and then some.
But that is the point.
Yeah, like character-driven.
I agree with that. He summed up what I think quite well.
You don't need
No.
character development in the Halloween franchise.
But you've got it in this one.
Yeah, well, yeah, you do. And Michael's developed, as you established.
Yes.
Why
These
are you
people are
looking at me?
stupid.
Steve said this. Why are you looking at me, Scott?
You're in front of me.
And lastly, the wonderful Colby Mack, he says, yeah, this wasn't it. One of the sloppiest horror movies I've seen in a while.
Appalling
I don't think it was sloppy.
statement, Colby Mack. We love you, but just horrendous take. Just devastatingly awful, mate.
Get out. Get out.
Excuse me, for clarity, I've just popped onto Colby's thingy. He gave Spiral a 7 out of 10.
Oh, well, there you go then.
Shit. He's been
Say
called
no
out.
more.
He's
Wow.
been
You
called
took
out.
yourself out, Colby. You put
There
a
you
bullet
go.
in your own head there, Colby.
That was a waste of money.
Yes. At least we all got to meet.
That's true.
We got to see it together.
We did.
Right, shall we move on to placing this film?
Paul, the only films that you think are worse than Halloween Kills that we've covered are Pacific Rim, Beyond Reanimator, Tetsuo the Iron Man, and American Psycho 2.
Yes.
You believe the 2021 Candyman is better than Halloween Kills?
No, can't be. Definitely not.
I apparently do.
This is an appalling take. I wish I'd picked you up on that earlier. How is that? My God, the stuff that you've been picking apart about this film. Come on, look at how you were attacking Candyman. Candyman should be lower if
there's
that's
a reason
the
I wasn't
case.
attacking this film that much. Is because I'm loving listening to you talk about it because I love you so much.
You reduce Candyman.
I won't. I still give Candyman a 6 out of 10.
Please change your score at the end of the year, please.
At least Candyman had well-rounded characters in it.
Oh, mate.
I'm literally done.
Do you know what the funny thing is? In a weird way, I love that you gave it low.
It's good, yeah, because
when everyone likes the things I like, I don't like them.
yeah, I
anymore.
hate it too. It's good.
So, listeners, it averaged a 7, bang on 7, and since Paul and Adam gave it lower than a 7 in their rankings, that means it doesn't go below our lowest rated 7, which is Solo. Do you remember that shit? The Han Solo movie? So, we say that it's worse than Solo.
Where
but
is it
better than
overall in the
Glass.
scores?
Overall in the scores, it's placing in 72nd position. 72nd out of 100. We've now... Oh, shit, this is our 100th film. We've done more episodes, but this is our 100th
Really?
film.
I thought, how many specials have we done then? Like 10?
We've actually done 101 because we did 2 raid films.
I know, but they don't count. They're not even films. So this is very painful for me to see it rated so low. So this is a call out to anyone who may ever guest on our podcast in the future. You all get a chance to vote for another film to be ranked higher.
Scott gets to
implore
vote
you.
for a ranked film to be ranked higher. You
Yeah,
can give that a 10
can Scott
right
vote
now.
again? Can Scott vote again on this?
Yes, he can.
I can. I've
joking?
already got it.
Oh shit.
Yeah, but Scott, you can give this a 10 out of 10 and make Ben happy.
Yeah, that's what I meant. He can vote again on Halloween Kills.
Oh no, we can't do
can't
that.
do
That doesn't
that.
make sense.
It makes sense.
Unless he gets Solo and makes it like a 1, and then...
I haven't seen any Star Wars film ever, so
Yes.
You're not missing too much.
now I know.
We can actually move on to that right now. So, Scott, would you like to place a rating on a film? So, any guest we have on a show, just to let everyone know, they get the opportunity to put a rating to any film that we have reviewed on this podcast. So, this is your opportunity, Scott, to skew the rankings of the Filmbusters
I'm excited.
episodes.
Hang on a minute. What did Scott rate the last time you were on? What did you rate? What did
Jason
you change?
X.
Jason
What did you give it?
X.
You give it high.
Yeah.
Well, that's good.
It's
And
a
you-
fucking good
And he
film.
rated us really low.
Yes. I hate done
That's
that
good.
ones.
You make the right calls when it comes to horror films.
If only I can give Whiplash a 1 and move it from top to
Ooh.
bottom.
I wish you would. That would be nice.
Ooh.
But I like that film. So, the film that I chose, because I believe it should be higher, I'm not sure how much of a difference it's going to make, was released last year, 2020, is everything that I wanted from the film and just that little bit more,
It's
with
Invisible
a powerhouse performance from Elizabeth Moss.
Adam just said it.
Okay.
And it is.
predicted
Adam's
it.
correct. The Invisible Man. I just thought it was...
I knew it was going to be a horror film. That's the only one I could think of from last year.
It was just perfect. Absolute. Like, it was just creepy. The scene in the restaurant was just magnificent. It just blew me away.
So what are you giving it?
I give it 9.
Whoa.
So that is going to bump
You
it
just
up.
said it was perfect, everything
It
you
gets
wanted,
an
and you
8.
gave
For
it a
God's sake,
9.
Adam.
It's getting an 8.3, guys.
8.3 is what Scott has given it with his ranking of a 9. We all gave it 8s. He gives it a 9, so 8.3. And I said it was bottom barrel 8.3. Straight Story and The Vanishing are better than it for me. But not for Paul and Adam, who both decided The
We're
Vanishing and
against you
Straight
in
Story
everything
weren't
today,
as
aren't
good.
we?
You are. And so it sits above The Vanishing and below Sound of Metal. So then, what have you got to say about this?
I'm fine with that.
I'm happy with that.
Me too.
It's above us, so I'm not happy about that.
I think
Yes!
the most appalling thing when you cast your eye down this list is that, just looking at the horror films that have rated above Halloween Kills is just absolutely appalling. I can't help but feel attacked by my two co-hosts here who have just they know how much it means to me, but they pulled the knives out and fucking whacked it into my back.
Listen,
I've got you, Ben, don't worry.
This is why we don't like bringing our beloved films onto the podcast. And this is what Jamie wanted. Jamie was like, "Oh, Jamie and Sean Pan Nicholson, let's bring films on that you love because we love we love how much you love them." This is what happens. It breaks us apart.
Breaks us apart. Blood is shed, and I'll never forgive.
It's alright, Ben, you don't need these boys. It's me and you at the cinema next week on Saturday.
That's right. Listeners, check it out. Next Saturday, me and Scott are doing a horror all-nighter at the Prince Charles Cinema up in London. What are we seeing, Scott?
So we are seeing back-to-back Scream, I Know What You Did Last Summer, Urban Legend, Final Destination, and The Faculty.
So I tell you, I'm excited to... Of course I'm excited to see Scream. That's best of that whole bunch. But I'm very excited to rewatch I Know What You Did Last Summer, because I have not seen that in such a long time, and I used to love it.
Oh, I watch it all the time.
Which of those 5 are you least excited about?
If you had to go to the toilet for one of them, which one are you going to go in?
For 90 minutes.
Yeah.
Final Destination, probably.
Interesting.
I do love the film.
Love that franchise.
I do love that franchise, but I love the other films more. So
I'm very unfamiliar with Urban Legend. I've only
yes, I
watched
know
Urban
you already
Legend
said
once.
you're going to sleep through that. It's fine.
Yes, it depends. It depends how hungover I am, because I'm out the night before with Adam.
Yeah.
Oh, God. I mean, we don't. It doesn't start till 9.
I know. I'll sleep all the way up until 8 o'clock, and then I'll be fresh as a daisy for those films.
And then you'll be completely fucked on the Sunday and the Monday at work.
I don't work on a Sunday, so that's okay.
Right, shall we move on to what our patrons have to say? We
Please.
give them the opportunity to shout out some films they've been watching and tell us whether we should watch them or we shouldn't watch them, basically.
Yeah.
First we have Sean Panu Nicholson, and he says, I finally got around to Rob Zombie's Halloween film this week and was underwhelmed, especially by the second one, as it was such a disappointment. Loomis was a dick, Laurie was fucking irritating, and the whole film was a wet fart of a Halloween offering. On the plus side, I rewatched If Beale Street Could Talk, and although not quite as perfect as Moonlight, the visuals and score touched my heart, and it's a high 9 out of 10.
I want to rewatch that.
I agree with everything he said about that Halloween and
I don't mind the first one, but the second one's atrocious.
yeah, the second one. It is absolutely atrocious. He fucks Loomis so bad.
So
he makes
bad.
him such an absolute cunt.
I think where the first one struggles is there's not one single likeable character in it, really.
No.
And I don't mind Laurie Strode in it. I don't mind Scout Taylor.
It's a bit
No,
weird.
she's
It
good
sounds
in the
like Halloween
original.
Kills.
What?
Yeah,
A single
funny thing
likeable
is, Paul,
character,
do
isn't it?
you think Rob Zombie's Halloween is better than Halloween Kills?
The first one, yeah.
So they are nothing but unlikable, despicable, horrible people. Even Laurie's friends.
No, but I enjoy the origin.
You enjoy the origin. The origin
Yeah.
is what removes the magic.
Nah, kind of dig it. I like the characters better than I like Tommy.
What? In Rob Zombie's Halloween?
Yeah.
You nutter.
Oh mate, you are weirdo. You're really weird.
I think he's doing it just to piss us off.
I think so.
I mean, I still give it a bad score. I'm not saying we get it a good score.
It's terrible.
Next up, we have Julio speaking, and I feel this one's going to ruffle some feathers as we go on here. Julio said, I watched Halloween Kills, and it was more like Halloween Kills my interest in the franchise.
Just hold there. The thing about that, right, is... Look, the thing with that is Julio, in a weird universe, this is how odd Julio is in the most loving way. Julio loves Halloween H2O, which is like, great, that should be a massive win for me. But the thing is, I know that Julio loves the films that I dislike the most. So the fact that we aligned on that film is like, I know, objectively speaking, Julio is wrong to like Halloween H2O more than so many of the other Halloween films. So the fact that he dislikes this means it's a good thing. That's a good thing. If Julio dislikes this, it means it's a very, very good Halloween film.
Well, there you go. Look at the positive there.
Yeah. All right, we're going to carry on here and see what he says. Then I finally caught Cruella. Now it's free on Disney+. Emma Stone's was wonderful, but the movie didn't need to go over 100 minutes, if that. Who was asking for an epic, overproduced Cruella de Vil origin story? And then...
All right, let's take that before Wifnell.
Okay.
I've seen Cruella, and
I
have to agree with what Julio's saying. You've seen it as well, Scott, haven't you?
I haven't, did you?
It very much is split into two parts for me, because she plays Cruella and what's her name?
De Vil.
No. Cruella
Emma Stone.
It sounds like Cruella. What is it? Cruella and...
I only just realised
No,
that
no,
De Vil
and-
means devil.
Oh my god.
Fuck me. I've never seen it written down before.
Estella.
Estella. Okay, so her real name's Estella, but she has an alter ego called Cruella, and Estella is a really good character, and Cruella is not a very good character, so it kind of splits the film where I like half the film and don't like the other half of the film.
You like doing that, don't you, though, Paul? You always are a very man that changes his opinion half through a film.
What? Sorry, so I have to... If I watch a film,
No,
I have
but
to stick to what I believe in the first half?
No, I'm not, but I'm saying you say that a lot about films.
Well, I say a lot of things, mate.
I know.
Thanks.
Okay, and then Julio says, and then I also watch With Now and I, which I guess is some kind of British staple film. Tell me, film busters, I had a hard time getting into it, but I was appreciative of Richard E. Grant's performance at least.
Stellar film, that.
I'm going to let Ben talk about that film because it's only right. I feel like the silence is deafening at the moment, though.
I mean, to be honest, Julio, like, as a American, you know, I think it would probably be hard to access anyway. It's a very British film, I feel. I don't know how well it does internationally. It's a very unique snapshot of 80s Britain, not just London. But for those who don't know, Richard E. Grant and the guy who's in Doctor Who's name I don't know, they're a couple of struggling acting students who can't make ends meet at home. They're alcoholic druggies, and they decide the best thing to do is to escape to the Lake District for a week just to get heads aligned, and that's pretty much the plot. And if you don't like the characters, you ain't gonna like that film. As for me, it's the funniest film that's ever been made, ever, and two of the most lovable characters ever, and the dialogue is scintillating, and I just adore it. And that's it.
And the Lake District is beautiful.
Lake District's beautiful. Penrith they go to. When I drove to Scotland a couple months ago, I drove through Penrith. Very beautiful. That's all I've got to say about that.
Yes.
There's a wonderful moment when, yes, Richard E. Grant and I are in bed in Lake District late at night, and someone's in the house, and they're getting more and more terrified as the person comes up the stairs, and then the door opens, and it's Richard Griffith playing I's uncle, like real over the top camp thespian, And he's like, "Oh, my boys, my boys." And Richard E. Grant's face changes and he goes, "Monty, you terrible cunt." And it's delivered in the best way. It's one of the funniest lines I've ever heard.
Better than you cunting Spunker from 4 and shit.
Cunting Spunker follows shortly after. Don't worry, Julio. Paul don't like it either.
I'm glad you like it, Ben. That's why I'm not going to say anything, because I've already done enough damage this episode.
It's a very grown-up way of saying, "I disagree with you, but I'm happy you're happy."
He said that a lot in this podcast.
I know, that's it. Because otherwise, Paul would be tearing me a new one.
Oh, it's currently on 4OD. I might rewatch it.
I do actually want to watch it again, just so
What's
I
the
can
point?
hate on it again.
If you didn't like it, if any film that you give a 6, I would never rewatch. Not a 6.
Because The Wonderful Wizard of Oz.
Yeah.
You love it so much, so I like to rewatch films that you love so much, just to see if I can obtain a little bit of the glimmer of the diamond you see it as.
Well, that's nice.
And if I don't the second time, I know it's just not for me.
Oh. Bless.
You know what I'm saying?
And then they go in the bin.
Yeah. Move on to Jamie Russell.
All right, rolling on. Jamie Russell said, "I've seen everything he's recommended here. I would recommend watching The Changeling, a 1980 film by director Peter Medak, director of The Craze and Let Him Have It, which is a stylishly atmospheric supernatural horror with a commanding central performance from George C. Scott. If you don't ever... Okay, so let's take that. The Changeling is wonderful. George C. Scott is amazing. We know George C. Scott. He was in our Exorcist 3 episode. He's also in the best ever Christmas film, which is A Christmas Carol, and it was made in the 80s, and he played Scrooge. And it's my favourite Christmas film, and I like to watch it every year. But that's a good film. If you don't ever plan to watch the superior subtitled original, then you might enjoy watching the Netflix remake of The Guilty, starring Jake Gyllenhaal. I was disappointed in how the subtlety of the original, particularly in the deliberately subdued central character, is changed in favour of a much more elaborate performance from Gyllenhaal. It also annoyingly feels the need to explain too much rather than the implied suggestion that works much better in the original. Adam, you watched the original, which made me watch the original, and I very much enjoyed it.
I remember literally going through Netflix and just seeing it and thought, fuck it, I'm watching this film, knowing nothing about it, and I was like, this film is fucking incredible. And the fact that they've remade it is slightly irritating.
It's pathetic laziness. Like, it's not even a film that calls for remake when it's essentially set in one location.
Because there's so many parts of that film that you can't recreate.
Yeah.
And by the sounds of it, they have gone in a slightly different way about a lot of things. That way I can't remember all the details from the original one.
Yes.
But I feel like they've changed the plot and what the actual phone call turns out to be in this one. So I guess they're playing with the idea rather than trying to recreate the film.
They'll definitely have amped it up a bit more to try and make it more sensationalist.
Yeah. The phone call was coming from that girl, wasn't it?
Yes.
And I know that in this remake, if you're ever going to watch it, this might be a massive spoiler. I don't know if you ever are you going to watch it?
No.
Spoilers if anybody is. The woman's actually getting taken to an institution by her husband.
But I feel like that kind of was the thing in the original, wasn't it?
I don't know if I remember it too well.
I feel like the seed of doubt was... I feel like it was like, you don't know if the person on the other end of the phone is actually...
And I think that's what he might be referring to, because it was always like, was she doing it? Was she kidnapped or not? Whereas this, it says plain right, she's getting taken.
I mean, I won't hit it
she's
up.
She's getting taken there for a better benefit, but she doesn't see it like that.
I feel like I would rewatch the original before I would watch this remake.
It's also just come onto 4OD, so...
What the original has.
Yeah.
See, this is what Netflix do. I've noticed it. So they've got a show coming up called Cowboy Bebop, which they're doing live action, and they dropped the animation the minute they decided they were going to do the live action because they don't want anyone comparing it to the original. Highly annoying.
Well, they know that people will go out and pay for it. All the films like they know people will pay for it.
Yeah, but Netflix aren't going to get that money. So why do they bother dropping it?
It might be in their contract for the remake.
It's because of comparison. It's because they know people will go, this is shit.
True.
All right, Katie and Oti.
Okay, this is for me.
Please.
Katie and Oti. We watched a 5-part docuseries called Outcry. It follows the story of a talented footballer high schooler in the US that is accused of sexually assaulting a young boy. Most docuseries cap at 3 eps, so we weren't sure why until we got into it. A strong focus on how the justice system feels as fair as the faces that represent it. It's been a couple of weeks since we've watched it, and I am still processing it. I've not heard of it.
I haven't heard of it either.
Kate, you know, you love these documentaries.
They love
we've
these
never heard of.
documentaries, yes.
They're massive fans of the television, aren't they?
They're big on the TV. They cover all the TV.
Definitely.
TV is their domain big time.
No wrong with that either.
They announce TV shows I've never heard of in my entire life. And even after they announce them, I never see them. I don't know where they're watching them. Although, and this is an aside to Outcry. Yes, I'll try and see Outcry if I can, but I have nothing to say about it because we haven't seen it.
Nor do I.
But what I'm delighted by at the moment, which is probably the best show I've seen in fucking years, since Twin Peaks The Return, actually, is Succession.
Oh, yes, I want to get into it.
We had the guy from, what's his name,
It's on my
Brian
list
Cox,
as well.
on Jonathan Ross last night, the one who plays the original Hannibal Lecter.
Yes, that's
And
right.
he was on there talking about it. It does look good, but I don't know if it's... I might get into it. I don't know. How long
It's
an
Game of
episode?
Thrones without... It's an hour. It's Game of Thrones without all the fantasy, but that sort of dynamic, the drama of that, but remove fantasy and make it about completely unlikable, horrible, the worst people in the world.
Did you see when, what's his name, Macaulay Culkin's brother was on Lorraine?
No. Why would I watch Lorraine?
Because she says something to him. I only
Ben
saw
has a job.
I saw the
Yeah.
clip of it on Twitter. I don't watch it. What's his name?
Rory Culkin or the other Culkin? Kieran Culkin.
The one who's in Succession.
Kieran's in Succession.
Let me see if I can play it to you.
Why are you playing me this clip?
Because it's the way she says something like, your character's really unlikable in the show, and he's like, yeah, thanks for that. You just made this really awkward or something like that. I
Is he
can't-
joking though?
Well, you
Surely
just
he's
told
joking.
us then, haven't you?
Yeah.
No, but he says, because have you seen him at the London Film Festival
No.
when they're like explain the film to me? And he goes a little bit of what else do you want from me?
Oh,
He's
what?
like-
So he's actually being a dickhead, you mean?
No, he's just playing around with people in interviews. Like he's just.
well,
like,
then that's fine. He's wonderful in it. Like honestly, Succession is just the best show that I've seen since The Return, hands down. It's
Is it
amazing.
Kieran that's a killer in Scream 4? Spoiler.
Yes, it
No.
is. No, it is. It's not Rory, is it?
It's not the same one. It's not the same one as in the Succession.
So it's Rory then.
So it's Rory.
One of them's Rory, one of them's Kieran.
Yeah, I know. That's what I was asking.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. But Ben said it's
I
the same
thought
person.
it was Kieran Culkin.
That's what I was
in it.
saying. I was going against Ben.
I thought it was
shouting at me.
Kieran Culkin. No, it was Rory. Yeah, Rory Culkin in Scream 4. Anyway, go watch Succession. Oh, he's 1 foot. He's 1 meter 68 centimeters. He's shorter than me. Lovely.
He
Take
does look
that.
quite short.
I
That's
don't
a
know how
win.
tall I am in meter.
I'm 175. Okay, anything else to talk about?
I think that's it.
No.
Other than thank you so much, Scott, for
Thank you,
joining us
Scott.
today.
Yes.
You are welcome.
Very fitting episode for you to join us on.
Of course. Wouldn't have it any other way.
I'm
Well,
glad Ben had someone to be in his corner for
Oh,
this
yeah.
one.
Do you know how low this
glad.
would have rated without me?
I know, Scott, you saved it. Fucking hell, it doesn't bear thinking about. It doesn't bear thinking about. I'm sure the Meg would have ended up above this had you not been here.
It's all right. Julio's going to come along and give his score to it. Anyway.
Oh, Julio, please. Well, you know when I said you were odd about 20 minutes ago, I didn't mean that. I realised in hindsight that sounds really brutal. Let me tell you why Julio's really odd. I didn't mean it like that. I meant it with all the love in the world.
You wouldn't want him any other way.
I guess Scott will be returning on this podcast in a few months' time to talk Scream 5. I can only
Fucking will.
imagine,
I'd say
right? That's going to be
If you
Scott's
do that
next
without me,
appearance.
I'll
we can
go,
nail
I'll
that
go
on,
mental.
right?
I'll go mental. Absolute mental.
He's already given it a 10 out of 10. There's no point actually asking him.
But then,
I
you know what?
add that to the scoreboard already.
It's good. Scott is going to be in the situation that I was in for this film, where you will find it impossible to withhold your opinion until the podcast.
Scott, why don't you record
Yes.
right now your thoughts of you? Just pretend you just come out of Scream. Bearing in mind you've watched this trailer 1,000 times, so you know basically what's going to happen.
Oh, for God's sake.
Pretend right now, like, just trying to picture what you'd be like in 6 months' time, whenever it comes out.
Yes.
That's going to be him on the
What do you
podcast.
think about Scream? 10 out of 10, amazing.
10 out of
Didn't
10,
see the killer
10 out of
come in.
10. Adam, what did you think about it? 2 out of 10. 2
Yeah.
out of 10.
Yeah.
Didn't really get it. It's a bit boring.
Of course you wouldn't. Too mature for you.
I wonder
got
where
that
it'll place
machete?
in the ranking of the
Why
Scream
has he got a
films.
machete?
Bottom.
What?
You give all the films, Scream films, a 10 out of 10, don't you, anyway, Scott?
No, I don't, actually.
He doesn't,
Thank you very
he
much.
doesn't.
Which one doesn't get a 10 out of 10?
2, 3, and 4.
Only
Yeah.
the first one gets a 10.
Yes.
Look at that.
So you could take that back.
Do they get 9s?
Put that in your pipe and smoke it.
Yes, they all get 9s.
I revisited them last year. I can't remember what rankings I put around. I changed it. I always thought that I liked 2 the second best, but then I changed it and it was actually 3 that I liked second best. In fact, 2 I put bottom. Yeah.
3's getting a lot of love right now, so
1, 3, 4, 2 was my order.
Right, that was a wonderful episode. Shall we tell everyone what we are going to be talking about next episode?
So in our next episode, it's a patron pick, and it is Jamie Russell's time to pick for us again. Recently, he brought you such films as The Straight Story and The Vanishing, and this time he has brought us a Robert De Niro blind spot for all of us.
I've seen it.
Well, I'll start
Scratch
the fucking
that.
thing again.
Just carry on.
In the past, he's brought us such hits as The Vanishing and The Straight Story,
And Burn After
this
Reading.
time, yes, oh man.
Leave this in Paul.
In the past, Jamie has brought us many films, and this time he has brought to our attention Robert De Niro, a Robert De Niro film from the 80s, from his heyday. Is it 80s or is it 90s? I don't know.
It's noughties.
I think it's late 80s. And it is Midnight Run with Charles Grodin. I'm very excited to see it. I've heard good things.
I'm excited to rewatch it.
I believe
don't give
that...
us any clue to what you rate it, Adam, by saying you're excited.
No, he might be excited to watch a 1 again.
Oh, yes.
Oh, I just need to remove my score from that, maybe.
Yeah, remove it now. And then we'll be talking about Midnight Run.
Hells yeah.
The days when De Niro was good.
He's always been good, bro.
We hope he's still good in this film.
Yes, I know. I do love him.
Anyway, thank you again, Scott. You've been a wonderful guest on the Film Busters podcast.
Yeah,
I
you're
love you
welcome.
very much.
Thank you.
Scott, you are our most featured guest host. Guest host? Yes, that's right. That's the correct terminology. You've been in 4 episodes now.
And you've also
I have.
paid the least money to be here.
I know. That'll upset fellow patrons. You can give me all the cash for the last year when we meet next Saturday. I'll take cash in hand.
Fab, I'll buy
Take
you
cash
popcorn.
and beer.
That's nice. Here's the last bit of the podcast. If you were to wake in the middle of the night, 3 o'clock in the morning, and you heard smash, and you went down, and you went downstairs, yeah, or whatever your living situation is, and you walked into the kitchen and turned the light on, and you saw that the window to your kitchen had been smashed through, right? What would you do in that? What would you do immediately there? Smash through as in someone's come through from outside.
I would get a weapon and call... I probably wouldn't, actually. If I was in all honesty, I would get something to hit someone with, and then I would open... Is it the back window, did you say?
Yeah.
I would most likely open the back door and have a look
Yeah.
to see what happened.
It's for me. It's 3 a.m. So not even a smash can get me out of bed. So I don't think that's going to even.
He'll be being stabbed while asleep.
Yes.
Quick death.
Yeah.
Quick
And he
death,
died
see?
peacefully in his sleep.
With a smile on his face.
Yeah.
Like, Michael, take that sheet and those glasses off. Get back into bed. For God's sake.